people? Welcome back to the last honest place in America, brought to you by the good folks over at CDM, that's in digital media. Hey, good morning, folks. Welcome back. Nathan Ivy with you. Let's get this show started. What a week. I want to talk about secret recordings, what's happening with the $15 minimum wage, and also some viral videos that we didn't get a chance to talk about this week. I want to throw that onto the conversation fire, so to speak, and we can stoke a good conversation this morning. Hey, listen, go ahead and jot this down or commit it to memory. 513-873-7134. That is my number if you want to give me a call this morning. Man, there's a lot going on today and this weekend. There's a lot going on that I want to share with you, and so much that we want to discuss. Now, a little bit, I want to do this just a little bit. I want to kind of go back over some of the bigger issues of the week here in the city of Cincinnati. You know, we had some very interesting news stories ranging from shocking to very, 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 very sad. And I want to give you an update on where that is this morning. Please take a second, just a minute, and do your boy a favor. Please like and in particular share the show. When you share the show, more people see it. It exponentially expands the audience each and every time you do that. So I want to say thank you in advance and give you a heads up. It means everything. Please share it to wherever you think people might find this kind of content to be interesting. It might even be a situation where you're like in a Facebook chat or a Facebook group and someone's already shared it. Share it again. Share it again, just to make sure that we hit as many people as possible. And I want to really say I appreciate all the choppers and my patrons as well. I'll be shouting out my patrons today. Thank you so much for your support. I am doing exactly what I told you I would do. That's very important to me. Very important to me in terms of how I personally do what I do. I like to be a man of my word. That's what's very important to me. So good morning to you. Buckle up, get ready. We'll kick off the show here in just about, we'll be up and running in about no more than 90 seconds, but I just want to give a little bit more time to allow people to come into the stream. And then once they come in, please like and in particular, share today's show. Okay, it means everything. Say it again. Share today's show. It means everything. Means everything, okay? So we'll get started in about 90 seconds. Don't go anywhere.
NathanIvy.com. Mr. Ivy know the show must go on. As far as Cincinnati, man, I put on. Tunes made another flame beat for me to cook on. Raised dogs, close fists, yeah, too strong. Team NI, chop it up at the chop shop. Top notch with the king flow, the hot shot. Cop squats in, listen to the real. Jumping like hopscotch, nobody harder than, oh, no, think not. Not only citywide, but nationwide. Superlatives, keep it locked like them Haitian guys. Put the truth in the airwaves, we talk about it. Brand new like the templates, let's be about it. Who got the info by the AM? Jono be the rapper, got them jamming when they play him. Staying in my lane, they ain't gotta okay him. Who the host with the scoop? Yeah, they gon' say him. Ivy, so superlative like a bag of Drippos. Show you where the Brits at, Cincinnati Reds at. One time where my people at. Team NI where my people at. It's the 5-1-3, yeah, you know the flow. What's the word, Nate? Let them know the show. One time where my people at. Team NI where my people at.
right, good morning, good morning. Shout out to Jono and Tunes, man. They made that intro for me a few years back. It's still dope to this day. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Ah, beautiful, beautiful. How has the last 24 hours been? I hope you are doing well. I really honestly do. My 24 hours have been spectacular. Great to be alive. I'm trying to think. Nothing eventful too much happened. I didn't get a chance to make it down and check out Dr. Umar. I got distracted with something that was very, very important. Actually, wasn't able to get down there. If you did, I'd love to see it. I did go on Facebook. I know he was in the city and he's doing a tour for his book. I wish that brother the best. I hope he sells a lot of books and teaches and reaches a lot of people. Genuinely. I hope that works. I wasn't able to be there. I saw some of the event that was on Facebook. I thought it was cool. You know, he's doing a tour. He is a very popular guy in certain circles. Speaking of Dr. Umar Johnson. So again, I wish the brother the best with whatever he's trying to do. I can only believe that he's on that real ish. It's the only thing I can believe. He's on that real ish. You know, why would I believe anything other than that? You know what I'm saying? Good morning to you. I don't have the accents lights on in the studio. Got the soft light here to the left. That's looking all right. Could be a lot better. I don't have my hair light on. When you're lighting any situation, you can do a one light, but maybe. I mean, look, you could do a one light, but I'll run a 3 light situation over here, just to give me the best look. Anybody that does anything with video will tell you that lighting is a huge part of it. It's a huge, huge, huge part of it. Good morning to you. Doesn't matter what type of camera you have. You got horrible lighting, it sucks. And you can have a not so expensive camera. Have dope lighting, image will look great. Good morning to you. 513-873-7134. If you like to share your thoughts. Good morning, good morning, good morning, and good morning, damn it. Good morning. Those damn choppers. Who is that? That John? Good morning to you, John, wherever you are not listening. Come on, I'll be listening. He'll call up and say, you know what? We'll be talking about something local. He'll call and say, you know what? Let's talk about that Coca-Cola bottle. The new Coca-Cola bottle. I'm like, come on, John. That's John all day, every day. Good morning to you. How are you? Tanika is in the chop shop. She writes, good morning, Nate and Choppers. Hey, listen, folks, if you're on Facebook and you're not a part of the friends who like the Nathan Ivy Show Facebook group, the question is, why aren't you? Why don't you join? And a lot of the shoppers, a lot of folks you see here are there. They're posting. They keep me educated on some levels of what's going on. I get a sense of what other people care about. And I post a lot of information about the show, upcoming guests, things like that, especially to my patrons. If you're a patron, you already knew what Melanie Bates was walking into. You already knew. You got the heads up first. That was the big conversation from this week. We talked with Melanie Bates on Monday, and it was it was quite interesting. Then, of course, yesterday, I got a chance to play for you a bit of the interview I did with the couple that secretly recorded Melanie Bates. So it's been one of them kind of weeks. Overall, I'd say for me personally, very, very sad week because of the news about Nilo Lattimore, a little 3-year-old boy, little black boy whose mother was found murdered. And looks like, a man has been arrested and indicted now for the two deaths. Black man, someone who was dating the mother, as I understand it. If you got better information, please share it with me. Just a very, 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 very sad story with that situation. I think everybody was like, you know what, just hoping and wishing that something would turn out. Hey, what's up? Hey, what's up, Karen? Oh, absolutely. I'll make sure you guys get in. Yeah, so folks want to join the friends page. Great. Come on in. Come on in. We can stay connected that way. Everybody loves Facebook groups. You know, I'm in so many Facebook groups. I can't even be in all the Facebook groups, actually. It just gives me a sense to jump around and see, what people think. I care about what people think. I want to know. So just very sad on that level when it comes to Nilo Lattimore. And of course, we had the conversation about the death penalty and what should happen. And as the case travels through the legal process, I'm sure we'll have similar conversations about that. So get ready for it. Get ready. 513-873-7134. Oh, absolutely. For sure. Good morning to you, brother. Good morning to you. Where was I? So yesterday, Midday Juice. Did you get a chance to check out Midday Juice with Ask Ashley? If you did not, check it out, fam. Check it out. Now I thought it was an interesting show, but she got a message. So a lot of what happens is people will email her questions, dilemmas, things that are happening to ask her advice, and then she'll deliver the advice in a very edutaining and entertaining way. Okay. And she got a message from someone who is debating starting an OnlyFans account. You know what OnlyFans is? That's an account. And again, you can do all kinds of stuff, but basically you can set it up to get money so people can watch you do stuff. Some of the stuff is in the pursuit of arousal. And then some of it is like, not really associated, I don't think, with that. Okay. Have I been on OnlyFans before? Yes, I have. I mean, I was curious. This is what I do. I'm an agent provocateur, so I want to know what's going on. So I jumped through and I've got a gist of what it is and how it works. I've never set up like to be a voyeur or a member or anything like that. I'm not saying I'm against it. I'm not. I just haven't. You know what I'm saying? I reserve the right to do it if I want to in the near future as a grown person, right? But I just haven't. There's some debate about the morality of it. But she actually got a chance to not only answer the question, but she spoke with a young lady who actually happens to be a sister who actually is making money on OnlyFans. And she spoke glowing about it. She was like, sis, I should have been doing this. I'm like, I'm making money hand over fist. I'm like, word? Man. My question is there a market for men's up in them OnlyFans accounts? Can men have an OnlyFans account? Is there a market for that? Of course, there's a market for it. This is America. It's a rhetorical question. You don't need to answer. Ray writes here. Brittany writes Friday. Happy Friday. Good to see you, Brenda. Tracy writes hi. Ashley writes good morning, Nathan and the Choppers. Happy Friday. Happy Friday to you. You get a car. You get a car. I don't have any cars. I do have a gift card for you. We've been playing Mystery History since last Friday, and today is the last day to play. Presented by imgbat.com. There's a link in today's description. You can check it out for yourself. They are a locally owned, online, handcrafted jewelry and art store. Okay. I guarantee you're going to see some one-of-a-kind pieces that you're not going to see anywhere else, because that's how the folks at IMGBAT get down. They also do completely custom. So if you're looking for a custom piece, give them a call or hit them up via email this morning, imgbat.com. We've been playing Mystery History. How do you play? You listen to the clue, and then you go to my Facebook page, The Nathan Ivy Show. You're going to see this post at the top of the page, and just in the comment section, give me the name of the individual. You must also like and share it. Like, share, give me the correct name. That will register you to be a winner. And many, many people are playing. We've got 3 prizes that we're giving away. So the first prize is a $50 gift certificate that you can use toward the purchase at anything at imgbat.com. The second prizes are 15% off that you can apply to anything that you purchase at imgbat.com. All right. So I know what you're thinking. Can $50 get me a piece? Yes, it can. Yes, it can. There are many, many pieces that you can purchase, and the gift card will cover the entire amount, just so you know. I know how your mind works. That's what you wanted to know, and I've told you. All right, so let's play Mystery History very quickly. I know it's earlier in the show, but let's play it real quickly. All right, Mystery History again. You can post the correct answer anywhere you fucking want to. You can spray paint it on your wall. You can do whatever you want to do. Okay, but if you want to register to win, this is what you must do. You must listen. Once you get the correct answer, go on over on Facebook to my Facebook page, The Nathan Ivy Show. Find that post, which should be very easy to find. It's at the top of the page. And just put the correct name and like and share it. And I'll be comparing, I already have, but I'll be comparing the likes and shares to the actual correct answers. Today, later after the show, we're going to do a random drawing for all 3 level prizes. And then we'll be in contact to let you know that you won. Very, very simple. imgbat.com. Are you ready? Are you ready? Okay, let's do it.
I go to White Restaurant. We integrate today, right? You go to White Restaurant, you got to look all day on the jukebox to find some music.
No. At our party, we'll have Aretha Franklin, Stevie Wonder.
I tell you, man, if I go bring a jukebox to White Restaurant, anybody black will tell you, you got to look all over that box for some black music. Hank Snow, Johnny Cash, all kind of names I ain't never heard of. You know, when that train comes around that mountain, when that train.
I don't condone it one bit. I don't condone it. So insensitive, but that is the clue for today. So tell me who you think that is, and then you can get to the choppers. Simple as that.
Oh, get to the chopper!
You can get to the bag. Simple as that. That's all you got to do, a.k.a. get to the choppers. All right? Who in the hell is that? Never heard that before. Never heard that voice before. Who was that? Now, I'm going to be honest with you. We made it purposely less difficult because I want you to win. I want you to win. Is that right? Somebody said, Kelly Prather said she tried to call me. Really? You use 513-873-7134. You use that number? That's very strange. Yeah. Kelly's making news because she's running, or her intention was to run for mayor, and then the Hamilton County Board of Elections is saying she don't have enough signatures. So she's raising hell about that. I think I read this morning that she sat down, or she's going to sit down with Joe Mallory and review it just to make sure everything is legit. So yeah, I'd love to talk with you, Kelly. 513-873-7134. Give me a call. Give me a call. There it is. That's my number. Give me a call. Good morning to you. I'm back in the audio chap shop. Let's go back to it. Pat Rice, good morning. Mason Marlon Rice, morning, Nate and the Choppers. Tracy Rice, that wasn't a song I was thinking of, Nate. It was the one before that they did for you. The one before that they did for me? Okay. I still got that one too. Pam Rice, good morning, Pam. I got to reach out to you and we can connect. Most definitely. I have not forgotten, not one bit. Let me see. Sharp Rice, TGIF, Nate and the Choppers. Pam Rice, you should start an OnlyFans, Nate, but that Clubhouse app is where it's at. I've heard that. Let me see. Mason Marler Rice, Chopper Chicks fans only page. LOL. Is that right? Cassandra Rice, hey Choppers, good morning to you. Broadway Flows in the house. Oh, so Nathan is about to be on OnlyFans stripping, huh? Flows and poles. I see you, homie. Anyway, good morning. Alt middle, when only the best will do. Huh? The fuck is she talking about? Flows and poles? What? No, something about that. No. Stripping, no. You don't have to strip on OnlyFans. You can do, there's people doing foot modeling, hand modeling. There's all kind of fetishes out there. I would imagine that that's what it's doing. It's feeding into particular fetishes and all kinds of stuff. I say make your money. If it's legal, it's legal. I mean, if it's legal for pharmacists to push over-the-counter drugs that have all kinds of, secondary consequences to the human body, then it's okay for you to take your human body and then through video sell access to people viewing it. I ain't got a problem with it. Go make your money. You know what I'm saying? I think it's a great idea. Damn, wish I come with an idea. Damn. Maybe next time. Angela is in the house. She writes TGIF Choppers and Nate. Good morning to you. Tiffany Rice, good morning. Good morning to you, Tiffany. Brian Rice, good morning. Good morning to you, Brian. These are all choppers here. Let's get to the choppers.
Get to the chopper!
Yeah, Lemmy Rice, good morning. Good morning to you.
Go! Get to the chopper!
Glenn writes, good morning, Facebook choppers.
Go! Get to the chopper!
KR Mitchell writes, good morning, TGIF. Anthony writes, morning, choppers.
Go! Get to the chopper!
I'm going to take it old school. You know how we used to do it? Brenda writes, good morning from Fairfield. Well, good morning to Fairfield, Brenda. Good morning to you. and to all of Fairfield. Daryl writes, good morning, Nate and Chopper. Get to the chopper! Sister Iris is in the house. She writes, good morning, great people. Good to see you. Dale writes, I know the Senate needs to get off their collective asses and remove the filibuster. Oh, the Senate. You want to talk about the Senate? You want to talk about the Senate? Well, that means that we have to talk about the $15 minimum wage. The $15 an hour minimum wage. Why is it so hard to pay people what they're worth? Oh, that's right. You want to make money. So there was a Senate ruling last night that says that the Democrats cannot put $15 per minimum wage in the COVID relief bill. Apparently, the parliamentarian said that the provision violates the rules and cannot be included. So if you don't know the layout of the land with the U.S. Senate, it goes like this. The Democrats have the majority. There's a 50-50 split. 50 Democrats, 50 Republicans. In the case that there's a 50-50 tie, guess what happens? Kamala Harris, straight from Wakanda, her Joker outfit. Oh, no, that was the first lady with the purple on. But straight from Wakanda, right? The latest fashion straight from Wakanda, Main Street Wakanda. Then she'll glide down with her vibranium technology and she will cast the deciding vote. That's how it works. And then she's going to float back, to her ivory tower. That's at least where the Republican thinks that she lives. She lives in the ivory tower. She just floats down from Wakanda and F's up their agenda and then floats back up. And that's Kamala. Get her damn name right. It matters. Kamala. So that's the lay of the land right now. And the Democrats are trying to push through this COVID relief package. Looks like it's going to happen with very, very little Republican backing. And that's because we live in an age of hyper partisanship. Democrats and Republicans rarely seem to work together on the issues of the day. And from my opinion, for what I see, I think there's blame for both sides. But the Republicans seem to have really dug deep with this policy of when a Democrat is in power in terms of being the president, they want to dig in deep and obstruct and struck no matter what, 100%. And then when a Republican gets in office, they do whatever they want to do for as long as they want to do it. The rules don't matter. They can bend the rules, make up the rules. It doesn't make any difference. They're going to do exactly what they want to do. It doesn't matter about history. And partisanship it's like a joke. And during the campaign, there was a lot of voices that were pushing Joe Biden and the Democrats to push for a $15 minimum wage to help so many struggling American workers and families. And I'm like, $15, man? Like, I get it. That's the difference between having two yachts and one yacht, for the bosses and for the ownership class. I get it. They're in it for the yachts. They're in it for the lifestyle. I understand that. It's called capitalism. I get it. But for me, this country is only as strong as its so-called weakest link. Our neighborhoods, our community is only as strong as those who have the least among us. So when we bring up those who have the least, those at the bottom, it's going to help everybody. Everyone's going to enjoy more. And I don't want to hear all this, I can't afford $15. That's the cost of doing business. That's how I look at that. It's the cost of doing business. You know what I'm saying? If you can't afford to pay people a livable wage, then you should not be in business. That's like saying, I want to go in business, but I don't want to pay taxes. The government would say that's the price of doing business. If you want to do business in America, you're going to have to pay your taxes, right? That's what they would say to you, right? Okay, well, I said the same thing to the people belly aching about increasing the minimum wage. You can't start a business and say, you know what? I know you've got these fees for licenses, but I don't want to do all of that. I just want to do the business. If I pay for these licensing fees to start my business, then all of a sudden I don't have enough money to do the business, right? You can't do that. In Ohio, you want to start an LLC? It's $100. It's $100. That's the price of doing business if you want to start an LLC in Ohio. It's a little bit more than that. There is no equivocation about that. There is no back and forth about that. It's $100. Period. And if you can't afford that $100, then guess what? You can't afford to start an LLC in Ohio. I look at this, the $15 minimum wage the same way. It's the same way. You can't afford to be in business then. Simple as that. What do you think, though? 513-873. Now, why'd I bring this up? I brought it up because it looks like the $15 million, the $15 minimum wage is not going to be, it's not going to be in the COVID relief package. It's not about to happen. And I don't know if this is fair or not, but I just feel like when the Republicans are in power, they find a way to get the shit done that they want to get done. It don't matter if they gotta pay law clerks straight from Ivy League law schools to spend 82 hours in some old dusty archival, just looking through old books, looking for the first ever court ruling on something they can bring it back up, then that's what they'll do. That's what they'll do, whatever it takes. And then they'll pay their PR spin meisters and spin masters to come up with some great PR spin. You know what I'm saying? This is what it is. That's what I see. That's what I see. What do you see? 513-873-7134. I just feel like, and whether that's right or wrong, I just feel like if the shoe was on the other foot and the Republicans wanted $15 an hour, then they would put that, and they had the numbers to do it. Man, it didn't matter what they would, whatever rationale. Whatever they need to say or do to make it happen, they would do it. That's what I'm looking for from the Democrats. Well, then find another way. Find another way. Simple as that. Good morning to you. Welcome to the show. Brandy writes Grand Risings. Hey, what's up, Brandy? What's up? What's up? Good to see you. Glenn's in the house. He writes, they need to find someone to primary mansion and cinema. We'll see. That could prove to be difficult. Angela writes, good morning, kings and queens. Good morning to you. I think I got some Wakanda forever here. It's a Friday, so I want to relax things. I don't really want to talk so much about heavy politics. I only brought that up with the $15 minimum wage because it's about money, right? It's about that money, and that trumps everything, don't it? Yeah, it does. That trumps everything. I want to step away just a little bit. Just a little bit. I want to step away. DeWine says that Ohioans can plan for proms, graduations, and in-person sporting events. He's saying that you can plan for spring and summer graduations and county fairs and all the things that makes life worth living, right? Prom. I remember prom. Prom was great. I went to my 11th grade prom. I had a ball. I went to my to the 12th grade, prom. I had even better time. Partied all night. It was great. It was great. Drinking. It was great. Had a great time. That's right. I'm promoting it responsibly. It was great. My first 2 years in high school sucked. I couldn't stand the school I was in. I couldn't stand nobody. It was terrible. My last 2 years, it was pretty dope. Had a good time. And I graduated. That's the big thing. I got that diploma. So hooray, hooray, graduations and proms and county fairs and all that kind of stuff. DeWine is anticipating that, all these things are going to be back in place. And apparently there's going to be a more formal guidance or plan that's going to be put out by March 1st. I'm sorry, March 4th. Just want to give you a heads up. That's it. Just want to give you a heads up. What you do with that is what you do with that. Hey, what's up, Kelly? She writes, good morning, great people. Hey, Kelly, what in the hell is going on? If you got the time, I'd love to talk with you. What is going on exactly with these ballots? Hey, what's up, Brittany? What's up? Absolutely. What's up with these ballots, Kelly? Is somebody doing something strange? Somebody doing something, doing too much? What happened, sis? I don't know. What happened? All right. Maybe we'll get a call from Kelly. That's my phone number right there. Roy writes, good morning. Good to see you. Angela writes, I'm watching on my portal. It has a nice picture. Wow. Good. I'm glad. Akeem writes, morning, y'all. I got free fried chicken for signatures to get me on the mayor's ballot. See, there you go. There you go, man. We'll give you a couple ABs. AB's a winner now, so we'll give you 3 ABs. 3 Adrian Browners. He's a winner now, so we only rock with winners. Angela writes, poor baby. The Is It Just Me podcast will be back today at 12:30 p.m. And Donnie is planning on talking about, it's a bunch of things in the news. She wasn't on last week, busy with work. She was on the week before that, but she'll be live today. The plan is live today at 12:30 p.m. So if you enjoy the pod, we'll be streaming live today at 12:30 p.m. Check it out. What's up, Ryan? What up? No one's going to primary. Okay, he's talking politics. Nothing wrong with that. Dale writes voyeurism. Yeah, that's what it's called. Tifton writes, good morning. I'm not against it. Again, I'm gonna tell you, I'm not above getting on OnlyFans. If there's something I think I can, I'm not sure what I would deliver and I feel comfortable delivering, but I have no problem with any woman. And you decide that's how you're gonna make your money. Then go make your money. I have no problem with it. Kelly writes, yes, men can have OnlyFans. Glenn writes, chopper chicks. I don't know about that one, but what's up, Cassandra? She writes, good morning. Good to see you. Janice writes, good morning. Good to see you. Drops in the house. What does he have to say? See, I told you so. Black Democrats just shut up and vote. No $15 an hour increase of the minimum wage. Obama Biden remix. What do you have to lose? Now, he leaves out the fact that the reason why the Democrats even have to go this route with a $15 minimum wage, right, is because the Republicans are diametrically opposed to it. They don't believe that the people need more money. You know what I'm saying? Like people like Ted Cruz will vote against, a stimulus package and then spend $2,000 for a 3-day stay in Cancun doing an emergency in his home state. Ted Cruz seems to be the very definition of a Mitch, a simp, and a Gilligan all intertwined in one. He does. Charles writes, the Grand Risings, Nate and the Choppers, good to see you. Glenn writes, that was Flip Wilson. Not sure what you mean. April writes, peace and blessings to all. Happy Friday. Terrence Forte is in the house. He writes, good morning, Nate and the Choppers. Stay safe. So good folks will ride or die. Kelly writes, yes, and it's going to straight voicemail. Really? I would do that. Hold on, let me double check here real quick. That would be strange. We got phone calls yesterday. Yeah, we took plenty of phone calls. My show and then Midday Juice took phone calls as well. So that's strange. Are you calling the right number? Okay, she sent me a message. Let me double check here. Hold on 1 second here. Let me double check just to make sure. I'm not changing anything, so. Oh boy, what the heck is this? See. Give me 1 second. I'm looking at something. I'll have to check that later. It seemed like they've changed something on the interface there. Danita writes, happy Friday, y'all. Good to see you. Mrs. Love Being Black writes, good morning, fellow beautiful smart choppers. Did anyone go see Dr. Umar Johnson? And props to the people that brought him. Props to the people that brought him to the city. I think that's always dope when you got like national figures coming to Cincinnati. That's dope, but I wasn't able to be there. If you were there, I'd love to get your thoughts on it. Carmelita writes, good morning, Nate and the Choppers. Happy Friday. Good to see you. Drop writes, it's Friday. I ain't got no job. Oh, that's right. I'm retired. What's in your wallet? Well, we'll get to all of that and much more in just a second here, okay? 513-873-7134. Before we get too deep in the show, I want to make sure that we get a word in from our sponsors. Of course, today's show continues to be sponsored by Team Wellburn, thewellburnexperience.com.
Experience. It's that well-born experience. The well-born experience. 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 It's that well-born experience. Yeah, the well-born experience. That well-born experience. Experience. Tell us what you need. That's the question we start with. We specialize selling condos, houses, apartments. Make sure that you're happy with your residence. Keep it real, no filter. Oh, it's the realtor from the nattiest heaven sent. It's the well-born experience. Ain't nothing like it. Every time he talk to his client, he's so excited just knowing he able to put them in a place to lay their head, not focusing on his profits, but on the client instead. Right. He keeps it so professional and from his conversation. You can tell he studies before sharing information. Educated, motivated, ain't nobody better. Who's willing to walk you through every step to relieve the pressure? Yeah, and just so you know it's real, you get a special personalized rug once he closes the deal. So go and call him up so he can get you live. 513-252-1055.
Looking for great pay with a great family-owned company? Pinnacle Protection Agency is seeking professional installers. Pinnacle Protection Agency is innovative security for your world, offering services for commercial and residential clientele, which include smart home and business technology, intrusion, fire, surveillance and doorbell cameras, and a whole lot more. We want to hire experienced installers and are willing to train. Please send your resume to info@pinnacleprotectionagency.com. That's info@pinnacleprotectionagency.com. Call 513-506-5010.
And this morning, the good folks at renewcommunitychurch.org are offering a free ebook. There is a link in the description of today's show. And if you follow that link, you can download a free 142-page ebook that's a part of the Focus 2021 series. All right. Could be a lot of good information there that you can use to put in place and strategies that you can use to put in place. And also to give you some insights on a different mindset to kick off the 2021 school year. I won't say school year, but the 2021 year. We're just getting started. You know, what's going to be the difference this year? Like, what are you going to do different this year to achieve your goals that you didn't do last year? All right. Also, the good folks at renewcommunitychurch.org are offering 30 minutes of coaching free, provided to you by Charlie Winburn. He can coach you on any number of issues. Could be business related, could be spiritually related, could be personally related. Again, you can download the free ebook today. Just follow the link in today's description and check it out for yourself. And we're going to catch up with Charlie Winburn real soon here on the show. And we're going to walk through some of what is in the ebook live on the air for you. All right. 513-873-7134. If you're having difficulties with that number, please let me know. Please let me know. Somebody, Kelly Prather, is saying it's not working for her. It's going straight to voicemail, which I don't understand. I don't understand that, homie. I'm not getting it. I don't get it right now. All right, but back to your chat. Let's get back into it. Good morning, Linda. Hey, good to see you, Linda. Let me see. Anthony writes, some of them think that $31,000 a year is too much. They don't want us living high on the hog. You're right about that. Some of the members of Congress, yeah, they do. They don't think that a second stimulus check is that necessary, because I don't get it. I can't understand the logic. To me, it just makes perfect sense. But I guess you got to get out there and be amongst the people. Some of these congresspersons, man, they become a congressperson, and you know they're on a silo now. They're insulated. They don't really know what's going on the ground levels. Good morning to you. Brent writes, good morning, Nate the Chop. Was checking in from Dallas, Texas. Hey, Brent, how you family doing down there, man? How are you and the family doing down there in Dallas, Texas? Did you lose power? What's going on? Brandy's in the house. Hey, good to see you, Brandy. Brandy, if I can get it out. She writes, good morning. It's Friday. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. The GOP doesn't want to give any Democratic administration any wins if it benefits their constituents. Absolutely. I've seen the same thing. The leader writes, I don't know how I feel about raising the minimum wage jobs to $15 an hour. When we're talking about that, it affects the economy and employment all the way. Kids at McDonald's making $15 doesn't make sense to me. I don't Why not? Why not? You want the minimum wage to keep up with the price of inflation. It's very expensive to be an adult. It's very expensive to be alive in America. Costs you a whole lot of money to be alive in America these days. It ain't cheap. And the other thing is that I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I do remember, back a few years ago, we were having this debate about the minimum wage, that people overlook the fact that there's a lot of working adults who work at fast food restaurants as well. You got a whole lot of working adults leading families who are working in some of these fast food restaurants, and who are some of the people that would be directly impacted, by a hike at $15. To me, Danita, that's part of the hype. That's part of the hype game. That's part of the hype game. They want to throw you off, right? Oh, it's just kids. It's only going to affect kids. No, it's a lot of working parents out there that's working hard who a $15 an hour hike would impact. And of course, when you lift up the bottom, you're going to lift up the people that's already making $15 an hour. Everybody's going to win. So the last good times to me is when more people had more. That's how I look at it. Let me see. Glenn writes, poor and working class people spend their money and keep the economy moving. Yes, they do. Janice writes, but they don't realize the more people have to spend, the more they will make. Danita writes, if you can't pay a higher wage, don't have a business, question mark. No, what will happen is they are going to have the business, but they won't hire as many people. They won't give full-time hours, so they don't have to pay the benefits. Yeah, I mean, I can see that happening. Hold on, let me put that back up there. I can see that happening. Yeah, I can see that happening. I could definitely see that happening. And okay, I mean, I'm sure a lot of things it'll be a ripple effect, but I think that the positive will far outweigh any negative. Pay the people. Papa John or Big Papa John writes, if you are a small biz and can't afford to pay at least $15 an hour, you are not running a biz. You are running a charity for yourself. Brent speaking with Danita, what do you think children working in McDonald's and other fast food restaurants should earn per hour? It's a good question. If not 15, then what? Angela writes, if the Dems don't come through with the voting rights bill, student loans, and George Floyd bill, then I'm done with them. Damn. And reparations. They better get everything done. The Democrats don't get every fucking thing done that I want. I'm never voting for them again. I'm like, I get you. The Democrats, and by Democrats, I'm talking about the Biden administration, definitely has to deliver some tangibles. They definitely got to deliver some policy. They definitely got to deliver some equity. Do I expect for them to hit everything on the list in the next 2 years? Because that's all they really got is a couple of years here. No, I do not. But it's got to be something substantial. I got to feel like, okay, this was worth it. And it wasn't just about not voting for Trump. But I feel you on that. The Democrats might be in a position where it's like, damn if you do, damn if you don't. Could be. And that's their fault for not doing enough to begin with. Brent writes, Democrats need to stop wasting time reaching across the aisle to appeal to Republicans that are not going to vote for the bills. The Republicans did not give an appearance of bipartisanship over the last 4 years. You're right about that. You already know how I feel about it. What's up, Jenny? She writes, good morning, Nathan and the Choppers. Good to see you. What's up, James? What's up? Welcome. Come on in. Elizabeth's in the house. She writes, good morning, all. Hey, Elizabeth, come on in. Good to see you. How are you? Natasha's in the house. She writes, good morning, my people. Good to see you, Natasha. Kush writes, good morning, Nate and the Choppers. Hey, good to see you both. Good to see you. Come on in. Kelly writes, good morning. Hey, good to see you, Kelly. Got the shades popping. I'm loving it. Out there living your best life profile pics. Is that what we doing? I'm loving it. Continue. Enjoy. I'm loving it. 100%. So I'm loving it 100%. Keep it going. It's going to be gradual. Cincinnati's restaurants look forward to spring and recovery. Whew, man. And the general populace can't wait to get back out. The general populace cannot wait to get back out. I'm telling you, people are stir crazy. As soon as they say all is clear, man, the bars, the nightlife, all that's going to be popping for at least a couple of weekends. We'll see. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Dial 1-900-909-JEFF. Who the hell is that? What's that number to, Big Papa John? I don't get it. Renee Mack writes, I'm mad that I be singing the Wellborn Experience song randomly throughout the day now. LMAO. I'm sure the folks at Team Wellborn love hearing that. Same thing has happened to me. I'm like, Wellborn. It's that Wellborn Experience. Goes to show you the power of a good jingle. Remember that. Papa John writes, I say every time that jingle is fire. If you like the jingle, think about the services. Think about the services. If you're looking for a rental property, if you're looking for commercial property, if you're looking for a dream home, then give the folks at Team Wellborn a call this morning. Or at the very least, jot down the number, jot down the email address, and when you need it, you'll have it. You know what I'm saying? When you need it, you'll have it. Just take a screenshot of that real quick. Hold on, let me take this down. You can screenshot. I know how this works. I know how this works. Let me take that down. You can go ahead and screenshot that. Boom, you got a digital business card. Boom, there it is. Get everything you need. There it is. You got it? Okay, back to the damn show. Good, good. I'm glad you got it. Good morning, good morning. Don't forget to play Mystery History today. Today is the last day. Presented by imgbat.com. Locally owned, handcrafted jewelry and art store. And they are giving a $50 gift certificate to the big prize winner, our first place winner, and then 15% off discounts for 2 additional winners. All you have to do is go to the Nathan Ivey Show Facebook page and listen to the clue. Put the name of the individual, the famous mystery history person, and like it and share it. And after the show today, we'll be choosing the winners randomly, and I'll reach out to you very, very quickly to let you know. All right, don't forget, today is when the show ends, it's a wrap. When the show ends, I'm going to calculate the winners right then. So you have it till now, up until 10 a.m. We've been doing this for a solid week. I want to give you as much time as possible. Again, presented by imgbat.com. There's a link in today's description. Check it out for yourself. Tell me what you think. Tell me what you think about it. TNT's in the house. She writes, they better deliver and leave a mark like Trump did in reverse. #winning. Oh, okay. Yeah. I don't know what that is. I have to double check. I have to take a break and double check it. I'm not sure what happened. Let's see here. Matter of fact, let's do that actually. Let me double check something real quick. Let me do like a quick systems check. Okay, real quick. All right. Listen, when these things come up on the show, I want to push them because I want you to take advantage of them. I want you to take advantage of it first. All right. So check it out. Again, my friends over at renewedcommunitychurch.org have started a new series, a new Focus 2021 series. Just giving you some insights as to how you can live your best life. That's what it comes down to. That's how I read it. And so if you're interested, they're offering a free ebook that's available right now on their website. There's a link in today's description. So let me step away. I want to look at something real quick. I'll only be gone for a couple of minutes at the very most. I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. All right, that was very, very quick. I wanted to make sure that I was connected properly. Yeah, I'm not sure what's up with that, fam. Like I said, man, it's the man. It's a damn Judas. That's what it is. We'll blame that. That works good for me. How are you this morning? 513-873-7134. So there it is. I've given the number out quite enough this morning. You've got it. Use it if you decide to. Let me see. Brent writes, did Mr. Charlie allow Uncle Charlie Wilson? Did Mr. Charlie allow Uncle Charlie Winburn to be appointed to that position yet? Look at you, Brent. Look at you. You're so messy. You're so damn messy this morning. Let me think. I think he was appointed to it. So we are scheduled to have a conversation with him actually a couple of weeks back, but then he wanted to push it off to make sure that everything was cool. And he's going to come on and talk about numerous stuff, not just the ebook and what they're doing with Renew, with the Focus 2021 program, but also to talk about what his plans are in the short time, because, you know, he has been appointed to be the interim Hamilton County treasurer. He ran against Jill Schiller, lost in a very, very close race. But then the person that was the treasurer is no longer there. So they had like this time. So they appointed him. And then Jill Schiller is going to take over and start her term in November, or maybe it'll be next year. I'm not sure exactly when she takes over. I'm not sure if it's November or not. I think it's November she'll take over. Some obscure way that the rules were written a long time ago here in Hamilton County. Maybe there should be a rewrite, or somebody should revise how that system works, but that's what's going on. So yes, to answer your question, even though you messy, Brent, you messy, but to answer your question, that's what I believe is going on. You're so messy. Look at him, man. Let me see. Hey, what's up, Callie? She writes, exactly, and I'm sick of it. Be on the same stuff they was on for big execs and billion-dollar corporations. I'm with you with that 100%. I'm with you 100%. What's up, Laura? She writes, the cost of living in Cincinnati has gone way up. They need to raise the minimum wage. You need 3 jobs just to pay the rent, depending on the job. I get it. I get it. And then all the dope places to live are super expensive. Brent writes, any $15 minimum wage hike will not happen overnight. It will likely be phased in over a period of years like they normally do. Angela writes, Judas messing with your phone lines. That's right, it's Judas. Damn Judas. Charles writes, glad, good. I just want to know what's in the come see lotion. See, there you go. Y'all so messy. Y'all so disrespectful this morning. Y'all wrong, man. Bringing up come see lotion at a time like this. Cassandra, she writes, yes, Matter. I was shocked. I think I made $6.50 to $7 at McDonald's in the 10th grade. Mason Marler writes, here's the truth, folks. Don't let drop lie to you. But without the Senate parliamentarians' blessings, Democrats are now left with some unfavorable options. They can strip the $15 minimum wage provision from the final COVID-19 relief package and negotiate with Republicans to pass a narrower minimum wage increase separately, or they can leave it in and subject it to a procedural vote on the Senate floor, which has a 60 vote threshold, which would ultimately kill the provision. Right. I don't understand it. Oh, is that right, Drop? Okay. I'm not sure what's up with that, man. I'm not sure. I'll work on it. But it'll probably have to be after the show at this point. JD writes, I live in Miami and make $22 an hour to teach with masters. Minimum rent is $1,500 a month. We all need a pay increase. What she just said. $22 an hour with a master's. That's only what, $7 away from the proposed minimum wage hike. That's ridiculous, man. Working with children. You know, it is what it is. You know, we always give entertainers more than teachers. It's just what it is. It's just the mixed up priorities of our world. David writes, Nate, everyone is under the effects of yesterday's full moon. Hashtag messy. Is that right? Yeah, I guess so. I guess that's one way of looking at it. It's also messy. Leave Mr. Winburn alone. Let that man do his thing and participate if you're interested. Talk about Uncle Charlie. So wrong, man. Y'all wrong. Y'all wrong. He says, Charles writes, I just want to see if I'm right. Oh, boy. I don't even want to know what the speculation is. Per the name, I don't even want to know what the speculation is. I can only imagine. This week, we also talked about a black man. Oh, great. This will be dope. We also talked about this week a black man that was arrested over near a park in Cumminsville. I played the video for you. He was tasered by Cincinnati police officers, and then he was charged with a bunch of stuff, including resisting arrest. And get this, charges dropped. So now he and his family are suing the city, it looks like. And looks like they might have a case. Are you ready to pay more money? And we talked about the video after viewing it and broke it all the way down. And I just don't see why not just let the brother go home. You know, all this whole thing about arresting somebody because they're walking through the park after dark or something like that. I mean, you talk about technicalities. You talking about like, this is what your contribution during your shift today is. You stop somebody who was in the park after dark. They weren't doing any crimes. They weren't doing any dope. You didn't view them do any crime whatsoever. They were just walking near, or it appeared they were walking from the park after dark. Like, if there was ever just some made up stuff just to stop somebody and harass them, it would be something like that. Like, that's worse than walking. That's worse than driving while black. Like, literally. And it turns out this man is autistic, so that goes to show you his reaction and why he reacted the way he does. But too many members of law enforcement, man, it seems like they get caught up with this dumb stuff. Like, if I'm a police officer and I'm going through all this training, do you think I'm going through all this training so I can ask somebody where you walking from because you walking through a park? Man, later for that. That's just a way to profile people. Okay, we just want a reason to stop you and go through your pockets and see if you got any warrants. Then they start asking this man for identification. Identification for what? Why do I have to show you identification? What have I done? You were walking through the park. Okay, so if you think I'm walking through the park, you ain't got to ask me. You can say less. You don't have to ask me no more questions. You don't have to ask me any more questions. All you have to do is whip out that ticket and hit me with that ticket. That's it. That's it. Let's get to the ticket process that I can go on my day, my evening, and then you can go on with your evening knowing that you are out here doing a good job for the people. Just ridiculous. And then people underestimate just how difficult and just how people underestimate how dangerous it is to get tased, to be tasered. People act like, oh, that's no big deal. Oh, hey, you didn't die. Who knows what the long-term, short-term, we won't even talk about physical, psychological effects are to having another human being basically try to take control over you by shooting you with something. We just, especially when it's black folks, we just act like it's nothing. Like, oh, just shrug your shoulders. Just brush that dirt off your shoulders. I mean, that was a video. In real life, that scars people and it builds up resentment and it builds up a lot of negative feelings toward the perpetrators and what they represent. That's what it is. Charlie Winburn writes, good morning, everyone. Great time to be alive and watching. So there you go. Y'all messy folks in here, he watching you. What is wrong with y'all, man? Jay writes, all this crime in the city and they worried about someone walking in the park after dark. Wow. Jay, that's what I thought, man. You got all this crime in the city. You got all this crime in the Cincinnati area. And you out here wasting time on somebody because they were in the park. That right there, I'm still stuck on that. I can't even get to what happened afterward because I'm still stuck on that right there. Like, this is what you were trained to do? But, you know, maybe I'm judging it too harshly. The other way of looking at it is that, you know, these are the multiple tactics that law enforcement use to keep the street safe. You know, in this case, again, I'm on the other side of this. I'm just going to do it for the sake of the conversation. You know, I'm your friendly neighborhood agent provocateur. I want to provoke some thought. But the other side of it is that these are the tactics that law enforcement employs to try to keep the streets clean and safe. And while in this case, it appears that they chose the wrong dude, if they employed those same tactics with somebody else, it might have produced either an illegal weapon or they might have caught somebody that was on the run or something like that. I mean, that's the other side of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, if this was somebody that had just committed a crime, then everybody would be applauding those police officers for what they did. Again, I'm just doing this to whip up the conversation a little bit. I'm just saying. That's all I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? Let's leave it right there. Let me see here. What else is in my bag today? Again, I want to stay away from politics a bit today. I know we're talking about, you know, I just mentioned what was happening with the police, and I get it. But so we'll see how the rest of the show goes, quite honestly. I think I might bring up a few other topics, right? So now I'm wondering, family, and tell me if I'm wrong about this, but I'm wondering if the Gorilla Glue manufacturers had something to do with Gorilla Glue Girl. And I'm saying that because they were the big winners. Like, Glue Girl was a big winner. She should flex that. She should flex that into something, start a YouTube channel or something. You know, you got a little bit of viral fame, use it. But did you hear that the Gorilla Glue manufacturers that are actually based here in the Cincinnati area, they actually are reporting that all that Gorilla Glue coverage, it was good for business. It was great for business. People start thinking like, well, damn, this works that good? I mean, if I was the Gorilla Glue manufacturers, I would think long and hard about using her in some type of online ads because it works so great for them. Like, no matter what you think about the sister that put Gorilla Glue in her hair, the Gorilla Glue performed. No matter what you think about her, the Gorilla Glue performed. It did exactly what they say it's going to do on the bottle. And that's the reason why people start like Googling Gorilla. Oh shit, I need some glue. Boom. There it is. I wonder if they have something to do with that. And if they don't, they should have something to do with it. They should make her into like an ad campaign or something like that. You know, flip it in a way in which you flip it in a way in which, you know, you get the point across that it's an effective product. So I'm like, it was great. Pick Papa John writes, all press is good for the gorilla and everyone else. There you go. Brent writes, public service announcement for men. If you're having issues with ED, choose Viagra, Cialis, and not Gorilla Glue. I don't think you have to worry about that one. But if they shoot that man, then we would have another unarmed black man killed or shot by the police, right? And who knows? You know, Cincinnati police officers from back in the day, they might have shot dude. Because did you hear the female officer? Don't put your hands in your pockets. So that tells you right there what she's thinking. She's thinking he might have a gun. Okay? He might have a gun. And even in today's world, what would have happened? What would have happened if he reached into his pockets anyway? What would have happened if he reached into his pockets and they shot him, killed him? And they said, well, he was reaching into his pockets after we told him not to. Like, literally, what do you think would have happened? You think those officers would have been brought to so-called justice? So that situation is real deep. That situation right there is real deep. And I'm glad they use the tasers as opposed to using a more lethal, option like the service weapon, right? Like the firearm. I don't like that they tase him at all. They could have let that brother keep on walking. I know it's hard to believe, isn't it? They could have let him go, keep walking. And well, he wasn't doing anything. Then why did he do? Because he was scared as hell. That was scared the bejesus out of people, man. Especially from, melanated people, non-white folks, the way you see, non-white folks being treated by law enforcement around the country. You don't want to have no parts of that. You don't want to have no parts of that. The vast majority of black people don't want to have any part of that whatsoever. Trust me when I tell you that. None. Okay. Because it's a lose-lose proposition. The likelihood of you coming out of that winning is very, 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 very little. Very, very little. Good morning to you. Brian writes, and after she knew he didn't have a gun, she said repeatedly and excitedly, tase him, tase him. She did. She did. I thought that they were overzealous and out of bounds. I thought they went from zero. And again, they have to go from 0 to 60. I get it. But I thought in that scenario, all the dude was doing was walking. He wasn't looking suspicious. I thought that maybe there was a call in the neighborhood that they was looking for somebody that stole something and did something, worthy of all of that. But they just observed this dude walking away from us. It's just a bad situation all the way around. JD writes, Jimmy Smacks, that man makes like $100K a month doing OnlyFans. Damn, really? Jimmy Smacks. Let me look this up. What does he do? I hope I'm not about to walk into Google something I'm not happy with, but we'll see. Jimmy Smacks. Oh, okay. This is the brother. Okay. Okay. He's on OnlyFans, huh? Okay, great. Good for him. Good for him. I ain't mad at him. Get your money in. 100K, great. Glad to hear it. Let me see. David writes, what you don't do is use Gorilla Glue on that lace front. Well, TNT writes, she don't like being branded Gorilla Glue Girl, but that name is sticking to her like glue. No pun intended. She needs to just embrace it at this point because she won't be. She's gonna be Gorilla Glue Girl for the rest of her life. There's nothing she can do with it. I mean, that's what she is now. Okay, great. I did get your text messages. I'm not sure what the issue is. Well, I'm not sure what the problem is. Not sure what the problem is right now with our phone lines. We'll work on it. Show goes on. It is what it is. Oh, okay. Hold on one second. We're getting a call. Not sure what happened there. Maybe the calls are coming in now. Let's see. Hey, good morning. Welcome to the show.
Hey, buddy. How you doing?
Hey, what's up, fam? How you doing, sir?
Oh, I'm outstanding, man. I heard you yesterday talking about some Fame be red flagging me, more than YouTube. Stop it. No, I ain't ever fronted. I appreciate you using my slang. That's why I lend it to the show.
Okay, good.
You know what I'm saying? I absolutely appreciate that. And, and I'm glad that you let it be known that you be using my slang, because that lets the people, who add nothing to the show, they know who they are. I don't have to mention their names. All they do is insult callers, never have nothing to say about that caller's opinion. Just insult them personally because they didn't like what they heard. Those people, the newbies, that let them know where a lot of the lexicon came from. Do you understand me? But I just put two and two together.
But
well, not. See, there you go. You know what I'm saying.
But you definitely
some of
for
it.
sure.
Oh, I mean, the one lady, Miss Love Being Black, called me the E40 of the show. You know what I'm saying? I mean, come on. I'm a professional Negro, minister of information, ashy, not as in your legs and your arms and perlicues. I'm talking about your ashy soul. What else? Professional Negro. We talking about disgusted.
Did you get the link I sent
Talking slick and greasy. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on now.
I sent you?
I did. I just haven't had a chance to listen to it.
Okay, yeah, check it out.
I did get the email. Yes, sir. Absolutely. But I wanted to say something. I just put two and two together. Remember a couple of weeks ago, Russell Wilson had said, my biggest fear is leaving Sierra and losing Sierra. And then and then people were calling him a simp and all this kind of stuff. Remember that?
I do remember that, yeah.
Well, yesterday on ESPN, it reported that Russell Wilson announced what 4 teams he would like to be traded to. You don't discuss getting traded unless you want off of a team. And he said which 4 he wants. Sierra's causing this. She doesn't need him anymore. She was black famous, known as Future's baby mama. Now, Russell made her an honest woman. Now she's got crossover appeal. She doesn't need Russell Wilson anymore. So therefore, she wants out of Seattle herself. Because all 4 cities he named were big cities. Nolans, Miami, New York, and some other place. Las Vegas, the Raiders. She's, because it helps her star appeal to get out of Seattle. Now she doesn't have to be known as Future's baby mama and Russell's wife. She can go back to being known as Sierra, the performer. She's doing this. This is her causing this from the, working in from the back. You understand what I'm saying?
I hear you.
I mean, trust me. Why would he randomly just say my biggest fear is losing Sierra? That was just so random. But now it's not random because now we see why he she wants to go. It helps her star power better to not be in Seattle as opposed to being in Miami or New Orleans or Las Vegas, especially Las Vegas. She can get a residency there. She's got enough hits. I mean, she's black famous, but she's got enough black famous hits. And now I'm starting to see her in more commercials. It's not even a theory. Just look at it all adds up. You know what I'm saying? I don't even think I'm spitting anything profound here. If you can't see that, then you're blind. You know what I'm saying? We're sports and entertainment connect. If you add it all up, she's doing this. Causing him to act because he ain't even that kind of guy to be a team disruptor like that. But when the quarterback of all positions in sports if your quarterback says he wants traded, you've got to get rid of him. You know what I'm saying? Not your point guard, not your center, not your center fielder, not your catcher, not your best pitcher. The quarterback, not the running back, not a receiver. You can live with trading a runner. You can live with keeping a disgruntled receiver. But when the quarterback says he wants out, and he's a star like Russell Wilson, already got a Super Bowl, been to another one, a second one, when he does that, you got to get rid of him. And Russell Wilson ain't even that kind of guy to be causing trouble like that. You feel me?
That's true. That last part is true.
So,
well, time will tell, brother. We'll see.
Absolutely. And until that time comes to fruition, just know that it's been real. I had fun, and we'll chat it up again someday real soon here, brother. Ow!
Yes, as a black man with a wolf pelt somewhere in the city of Cincinnati driving around. That's Brother Fame right there. We'll see. We'll see. Interesting. He's saying that all is not happy in that marriage, basically. We'll see. I hope not. I hope not, but we shall see. Janice writes, and Fame came to this conclusion. How? Right. Glad the phone lines are working now. Let's go right back to the phones. Hey, good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Nathan. This is Kelly Prather. How are you?
Hey, Kelly. I'm doing well. How you doing?
I'm doing well. A little tired after running since August to collect signatures. And, I was speaking to one of our, a friend of a family, his name is Love Child, and he said that you mentioned about my debacle collecting signatures yesterday. So I wanted to call and just give a little insight about that.
Yes, please do. I'm glad you did.
Yeah. Okay. Whenever you're trying to be mayor of Cincinnati, you have to turn in 500 ballot signatures. So whenever you turn in signatures, you're allowed to collect twice as many to ensure that you have enough ballot signatures. They also have portals at the Hamilton County Board of Elections where a candidate can check to ensure that the signatures are valid. So, Nathan, what happened is I filed 3 sets of petitions. So the first time I filed 939 signatures on January 15th. And, I'll be honest and say that I did not check all of them. I checked some of them. And so they came back and they said, well, Kelly, you don't have 500 valid signatures. You only have 441. And so I accepted it, because I knew that it was likely that I did not have enough valid signatures. And I believe them, although most of the people who I went to were people who I've always gone to when I am collecting signatures. So I went my normal route. The second time I filed, how many? 1,068, but they only accepted. They said that there were 68 that they wouldn't include. They would include 1,000 on the second submission, which I turned in on February 2nd. So they came back and they said, well, we only processed 700 of those signatures. And out of that bunch, you had 300 and I think they said 89 correct. And I said, well, I turned in 1,000 signatures. You don't have a right to only process what you believe, you want to process. So they went back and then they came back and they said, well, we checked and you have 400 and I think they said 480, close to 480 signatures valid. And I said, okay. I said, so I checked. Now, the first time, Nathan, there's a saying, first time, if someone does you wrong, first time, shame on them. The second time, shame on you. So I went back and I checked that second submission and found 572 valid signatures myself, because I did go through those signatures before I turned them in. So Sally Crystal, the deputy director for the Hamilton County Board of Elections, went back through and she said, well, there's 300 signatures that we're not processing because they had marks on the paper. And she said, so the end result is you have 409 valid signatures. So rather than argue with them because it was getting close to the deadline, which was February 18th, I went out and I collected close to another 1,000 signatures. So 970 signatures on up until February 18th. Nathan, I was literally out in that snowstorm and 17-degree weather, papers flying all over the place, everything. I mean, it was just a mess, but I did want to meet the deadline, which was February 18th at 4 p.m. So I turned the signatures in. They came back and said that I had 444 ballots. And so what ended up happening is, as I was out in that snowstorm, my papers were flying, things were getting wet. So I didn't want to turn in wet petitions. And so according to the Secretary of State, as long as you have one petition that's fully completed with your name and with all of the signatures on the front and the back of the form, because it's a double-sided form, technically you can turn in copies of everything else and maintain the originals for yourself. When I ran for the U.S. Senate, this is exactly what I did. I turned and they said, don't give us your originals. Give us the first page. should be an original. And so we're going to compare your signature on the affidavit of the circulator of petitions to that signature, but you can keep your originals and give us copies of everything else. I did that twice at the Secretary of State. And so this time with the signatures here, I did call and I let them know that some of the petitions were wet. They said just make copies and insert them and maintain the originals for your record in case they question those signatures. So when I called the Board of Elections, when I went back to the Board of Elections, sure enough, they tried to say that they did not count the last 6 pages, which were the copies that I explained that were wet, and I didn't want to include those. But those signatures, those pages had 93 valid signatures. So, people are looking like, okay, Kelly Craig waited to the last minute, turned signatures in, didn't have enough valid signatures. That was incorrect. I filed 3 times. I filed 3 times more than the other candidates who have turned in petitions. And I ran around like crazy trying to get these signatures. I've never had an issue. And so I'm calling foul. Yesterday, I did have an opportunity to sit with Joe Mallory, who was appointed to the Board of Directors for the Hamilton County Board of Elections. And he is thoroughly researching my signatures. And then I also got a call from Gwen McFarland, who is the chairperson or chairwoman for the Hamilton County Board of Elections and the Democratic Party. And she said that on Monday, she's going to go in and she's going to go through each stack and just, thoroughly review and examine the signatures. Now, Nathan, on other shows, people get on the Facebook Live and they make comments like, take your loss gracefully. Nathan, I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem taking a loss. I've taken many losses gracefully. I mean, that's what the nature of being from the hood, a Black woman from the hood, we take losses daily. And I've taken my losses with dignity and moved on. But what I am witnessing, and this is clear-cut evidence that there's a problem at that Board of Elections. I was just having general conversation with a Board of Elections employee, and I said, hey, maybe I should apply for a job with the Board of Elections. And they said, well, it depends on what party you're in. And so they said that if you're going to come on the Republican side, you have to be a vetted Republican. If you're going to come on the Democratic side and there's no Democratic positions available, I'm like, whoa, like what? They base your ability your ability to work for the Hamilton County Board of Elections based on party. And so when you look at the fact that these signatures, I wonder if it was a Republican or Democrat who collected or who counted these signatures, because there is clearly something wrong. And let me just take it back. I know I don't have a lot of time, but let me just take it back. Now, I ran for city council at the same time as Tamaya Denard, Jeff Pastor, and when PG was running for re-election. And at that time, I was discussing the corruption with these development deals. Sadly, thank God I didn't get in because, and I make no qualms about repeating this, I may have been in the same situation as Tamaya and Jeff. But I said that to say this, the corruption, the city of Cincinnati has a history of corruption, and it existed prior to Jeff and Tamaya even being elected. And sadly, they got caught up in it. PG was an elected official before, and Tamaya worked in PG's office. So, I just think that some of it is learned behavior. It's a culture of corruption. And, thank God Tamaya just said, hey, I made a mistake. She made a mistake. She's accepting responsibility for it. But I just think that when you look at the fact that, hey, I'm trying to be the mayor now. I've talked about the corruption and the collusion between city and county government. I think that they're adamant about not allowing me on the ballot for that reason. And so, like I said, I'm happy that we'll now have Joe Mallory as a director and Gwen McFarland, because several years ago, when the Board of Elections was down on, was that 8th Street? When they were downtown, I went down and Tim Burke was the chair. Well, he was on the Board of Directors, Caleb Fox, Alex Triantafilou, and Chip Gerhardt. They were all board of directors for the Hamilton County Board of Direction. And I told them, I said, this picture, just the visual screams that Hamilton County, the institutional racism that is prevalent in Hamilton County is also indicative. I mean, it's indicative that it's here too. And so now that we have a Black woman and we also have a Black man on the board of directors, maybe some things will change. And I say that also because when I called and I was questioning Sally Kretzel, the deputy director for the Board of Elections, and Sherry Poland, who is the director for the Hamilton County Board of Elections, they wouldn't even respond to my questions. I sent them 140 signatures after the second submission. And Nathan, they said, well, you have to take it up with the board of directors. You have to take it up. You have to come to the board meeting. And so that's exactly what I'm planning on doing. And so after talking to other candidates, Nathan, I think that there's some deeper issues in the Board of Elections. And if I'm going to fight this, I plan on fighting it, because this is just not about me. This is about who we get in office, who have our best interests at heart, and how ultimately their fate, the things turn out, in terms of their ability to be reelected, to remain in their positions, and ultimately what happens to our neighborhood. So I think that this may open up Pandora's box as it relates to the Board of Elections. I know that the federal administration is looking at the Secretary of State across the nation and saying that they are responsible for voter suppression. Alicia Reese, Hamilton County Commissioner Alicia Reese, was talking about how they were purging the voter rolls. And so this is a deeper issue. And so, I don't know how I always end up in a position where I'm, the one it's disclosing like just issues, but there is a deeper issue. And so, like I said, I counted more than 500 ballot signatures when I filed my second and third submissions. And it wouldn't surprise me that they come back and they say, hey, Kelly, you have enough signatures. And they start researching, or they start dealing with the issues. Joe actually said that once he is on the board, he's going to have to deal with these issues. And so if I was the one who shed light on it so that Joe can go in there and make things right, then God bless. But it is that is my debacle. I did turn in 3 submissions. Yes.
Okay,
you have a question?
so I'm trying to understand here, and I appreciate that. And I've got a lot more information, but a couple things I'm still fuzzy on. So what's the issue here? What are you alleging that somebody at the Board of Elections did?
They're not processing all of my signatures. They're not processing all of my signatures so that I will have enough ballot signatures, because the pages, or actually the ones that they said that they didn't process, were the ones that had more valid signatures.
Okay.
On the second and the third submission. The second submission, remember I told you I turned in 1,000 signatures and they only processed 703. On the third submission, I turned in 970 and they only processed 820. And on those 6 pages that they said they did not process or they didn't include because they were copies, there were 93 ballot signatures. I had patients' names. The people who I work with in the community signed my petition, and their names are on there. So that is the issue. They're not processing signatures.
So how does that work, Kelly? So for us who don't know, tell us how that works. So when you go the first time and you think you have enough signatures and they process them and they say, no, you only got 500, do you now have to go back and make up the difference, or do you start from the very beginning? So every time you go back, you have to have at least 500 valid signatures, or can it be like it adds up to 500 signatures?
No, every time you go in, if a candidate is smart, they turn in twice as many signatures as they need for their particular position.
Right.
And so you only need 500 valid signatures, but you can turn up to 1,000. And so that's what I did each time. And whenever you go in, you file your submission, your petition. If they come back and they say, well, you don't have enough valid signatures, you have to start all over.
Okay, that's my question.
You don't get to keep those. Yeah, you don't get to keep the signatures that were good and start, go and collect more signatures. You have to start all over.
Right. So tell me this, what's the highest number of valid signatures that the BOE said that you turned in?
I think at one point they said I had 480 on that second submission, but that would have included the ones that they didn't process. They said that they couldn't include in the count.
Okay. So you got 480, means you're only 20 valid signatures away from meeting the requirement.
Yes, according to them. But then they came back and said, I only had 409. And so,
do they explain why they invalidated? Do they say, well, listen, these people either don't live in it, we can't find them, or the people that's doing the surveys for you, they have to be Cincinnati residents? Do they tell you why that those particular signatures are not valid?
Yes, they will put on the left side of the form that WA, they put different codes. So WA means wrong address. WD means wrong district. NG means not a good signature. They'll put illegible. They'll put,
So
illegible, and that's it. So they'll put different codes. But Nathan, I need to bring you a copy. I'm going to make sure you get a copy of, and whoever else wants to get a copy of these petitions, because there's so much writing on these petitions that you would have been like, who in the world did this? I mean, it was, and Joe, when Joe Mallory, I went to the NAACP office yesterday to meet with Joe. When he looked at him, he said, what is, he was even looking like, what is all this writing on these forms?
right,
And I'm like, it seems like they were, to me, it was almost like they expected me to give up. They didn't want me to keep fighting.
right.
But this is, like I said, this is not just about me. This is about, people who really have a heart for change being able to run for office and, do good for the community. That's, in my opinion, at this point, that's what this is about. So,
So let me ask
but yeah, you have to start all over.
Hold on, Kelly. I'm still trying to get some thoughts from you. So what was the code that they put on the second round of signatures that you turned in? What were the reasons why they said it didn't reach 500?
They said wrong address, and I went back and checked a lot of the addresses. Some of the addresses were good, some of the addresses were not good. They put illegible, but I was able to read. I was able to read the signatures, so a lot of them they put illegible. And so what I noticed is, after I started complaining or challenging them, what they did is they started making markings not only on the left side, but also on the right side to complicate the process. So like I said, yesterday, I spent 3 hours going through one stack with Joe, and I'm just hoping to, just for a positive result, because it is, this is, like I said, at this point, it's not about me. It's about looking at the board of elections and the fact that, and I'm going to bring out some points when I go to the board of directors. When I go to the meeting on Tuesday, I'm going to bring out some additional points that community members and other elected officials or other people who sought out to be elected officials, some of the concerns that they have. But there are some problems with the Hamilton County Board of Elections. Like I said, we have corruption and collusion between city and county government.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's also, it's also
Hey,
present.
Kelly, if I
It's
can, I
also
got a
at the
couple
Hamilton
more
County Board of
questions I want to
Elections.
ask you.
Yeah.
So my next question is, how can this be resolved? So the deadline has already been passed. What are you looking to happen? And then what can happen? Like, is it possible at this particular time to do whatever, to discover something, whatever, and then the board will go back and recount the votes for you, and therefore you'll be able to run for mayor? Is that possible?
Yes, that is possible. What could happen is Gwen McFarland and Joe Mallory and Chip or Alex Triantafilou, they could go back, they could examine the signatures, and they could say, okay, well, this person moved, but he has a history of being at this address. Or they could make the decision and say some of the wrong addresses, some of the addresses that were marked as wrong are actually correct, and so they can allow me to be on the ballot. That's one thing. The other thing that could happen is someone could get a ruling from the Secretary of State as to those photocopies that they decided not to check. It is appropriate, and I spoke to Charlie Winburn and several other people who said that is the correct procedure. You can turn in, as long as you have one ballot signature with a full page, you can turn in photocopies and have those signatures correct. Have those signatures counted. So yes, I could be placed on the ballot either way. Either one way or the other. They can say, yes, we did check the signature. She had enough ballot signatures. We're going to let it go. We're going to let it stop here. Or they could contact the Secretary of State, and the Secretary of State can say that they have to include those 6 pages of signatures that were that I admitted I photocopied because they were wet. I'm not going to turn in wet paper, as a courtesy to the Board of Elections. I made photocopies and said here, but I have my originals, and I even showed my originals to Joe yesterday. So at this point, that's what it is. But I'm looking for I'm expecting a favorable decision. Like I said, I just think that they wanted to see if I was going to fight. If this meant as much to me as it does. And it does because, Nathan, if you think about third world countries, they all have female prime ministers. If you think about the fact that from all across the nation, in Atlanta, in DC, in Maple Heights, Ohio, in North College Hill, and in Chicago, they all have Black female mayors because we have a unique way of caring about the community in a way that it meets the needs of all people. Of course, I want to think about Black people because we have been at the lowest end of the totem pole. So, I'm really passionate about getting the needs met and making sure that we blow the whistle on all of the corruption as it relates to taking away from people getting their needs met. So I'm confident. I'm, going to remain positive. I'm going to, just put out my narrative about the story, even if they say, well, that's not the correct information as far as the Secretary of State, the photocopies and all of that. But I've worked really, really hard, and I believe that I at least deserve a shot at being the first Black female mayor for the city of Cincinnati. And I think, if I was not a threat, they would not be working this hard to keep me off the ballot. They know that this is the year of the woman. We have a female sheriff. We have an all-female commission. And Cincinnati can handle, and Cincinnati is ready to have a Black female mayor, somebody who's approachable, who you can call and say, hey, this is what we need. Yeah,
for sure.
This is what we need, the same way that, they can call in and they can talk to their people. John Cranley,
so
his people have been getting exactly what they want.
So you feel like
our people need to get exactly what they want. Definitely. I definitely think I'm being targeted, especially since I've been so vocal about the corruption. And ironically, if I wanted to say, okay, well, I want to at least write or become a write-in candidate for mayor, Sally Crystal did not call me until 4 p.m. on February 23rd. The deadline to even be a write-in candidate for mayor was February 22nd, so it was intentional. She could have called me on the 22nd, and I could have said at that point, well, let me go in as a write-in. I wasn't even given the option based on the timing of being notified that I didn't have enough signatures. I definitely, yes. And so back to your question, I definitely feel like I'm being targeted because they know I know a lot. One of my other good friends, Doug Springs, he said, Kelly, when you start talking about corruption and when you start exposing things, you make enemies. Well, you know what? I'd rather have an enemy because I'm doing the right thing than I have a friend because I'm doing the wrong thing, period. And so this is about the city. Nathan, if we don't get the right people in office, we are going to be pushed outside of the city limits. And so that's how they're trying to gain political control. And this is our city. I was born and raised in Cincinnati. I'm back in the city because I know that I have a stake in the game. I'm invested. My friends and family members are here. And now that I've been out in the community and I see so many of my friends who have returned home, returning citizens, they returned home from the federal penitentiary after spending 20 and 30 years. It warms my heart to see that they are so alive, but I know how the structural injustice led to them even being in the positions that they were in. I know, just like I just posted an article on Facebook. Yeah.
And I agree a lot about what you're saying about people that challenge the system and then people not wanting to see you rise up. I definitely hear all of that. But what I'm wondering is having said all of that, like knowing that you got enemies out there, knowing that people out there, may not think favorably about you becoming the first Black female mayor. Why not? And I'm wondering if this wouldn't have avoided a lot of this. Why not turn in the signatures earlier? Why not turn in 1,500 signatures? Why wait until, the last minute, so to speak, close to the deadline? And that gives you so little time to deal with anything that might have happened.
Why not? I turned in signatures starting January 15th.
Okay.
That was a month before the deadline.
Okay.
I turned in signatures February 2nd. That was 2 weeks before the deadline. And the final submission was February 18th at 4:00, the deadline. Nathan, we're still in the COVID-19 pandemic. People are not out and about. So I even took a huge risk of knocking on doors. I went knocking on doors in buildings that I had been at before and tried to social distance as much as possible, had hand sanitizer, had gloves, doing everything in my power to get on the ballot and explaining to people that these local elections are more important than the federal election because there's so much there's so much that impacts our daily lives. I also just posted on Facebook, like in different areas of the city, gerrymandering and redistricting has literally changed neighborhoods. And a perfect example is on Glengate Apartments, which were originally in Pleasant Ridge. They're listed as Norwood because of redistricting. In Madisonville, there's a couple of streets, Stewart and Chandler, in zip code 45227, that are now Columbia Township, and that was Madisonville. And so they're doing this strategically so that they can control the vote. So I'm like, look, you don't even know where you live anymore. And Madisonville has been on the news about Family Dollar closing, and they're about to do all that redevelopment from Red Bank Road up to Plainville Road. And they're starting and they're doing it so that they can have more political power. They're going to have more representation in that area and everything. And people don't even realize that their neighborhood is changing right before their eyes. And so they really need to get involved in politics. They need to start showing up to the Board of Elections meetings every first Tuesday of the month at 8:30, because this stuff is important. This stuff is really, really important. And so I just, now that I've had time to be back in Cincinnati and to sit and to really focus on what happened, I know that a lot of what has happened, we tend to blame the white man, but a lot of what has happened is because we have not been present at the meetings and as focused as we should be, but we need to, because this political game, it affects every part of our lives. And, I'm honing in on those returning citizens, because I'm like, thank God you're back out here. You're here. You have a chance to start over, start fresh. And, just like we saw during the 2020 general election, when we elected all of those new judges, who I'm so proud of, to the Hamilton County Court of Common Pleas, I'm helping them understand that you have an opportunity to vote out a judge who has not treated you fairly. And, took away those years of your life, not only from you personally, but from your entire family. So it's a lot to go into this. And so I just think that we need a voice. We need somebody who will explain it to them. And so I'm not just doing this because I just want a job or I want a title. I'm doing this because, everything that has impacted the everyday person's life, it has impacted me, either via my family or my friends, and we deserve better. A lot of it does not make sense, and so I'm trying to help it make sense for people who don't understand. And so hopefully I answered your questions, and hopefully we'll get the result. And regardless of what happens with this election, Nathan, I ain't going nowhere. The Inquirer and other media outlets tend to call me the perennial candidate. Okay, that's fine. They call me an activist. Okay, I'd rather be called an advocate, because I'm advocating for underserved communities. But you call me what you want. At the end of the day, I know I'm a woman of God, and I'm doing this for the right reason. So I just wanted to call and explain to you what was going on with the signatures, and to help other candidates who are running to know that they have to be spot on. They have to have a correct John Hancock, not a printed signature, a John Hancock, an address, a zip code, and the date. And according to the Hamilton County Board of Elections, you cannot submit copies, but the Secretary of State is saying something different. So, it's a lot to think about. But thank you for taking my call. And I'm happy that you were able to figure out what was going on, because I think I texted you, I literally called you 10 times.
Yeah, my bad on that. I'm not sure what was happening.
Yeah. So,
yep.
Thank you. Thank you for taking my call. And I'll let you know what happens after next Tuesday.
Okay. We'll be paying attention. Thank you so much. That's Kelly Prather.
You're welcome. Have a good weekend.
Yep, you too. That's Kelly Prather, everybody. And, I'm not happy that Kelly's out of the race. I wanted Kelly in the race. I like, to me, she's that wild card, and we need the wild card in there to poke and prod and ask questions and be unconventional and challenge the system. Also, I think in this city, we need a black female. We need female leadership. We need a black female mayor. Why not? Why not? We need that. Half the city is female. You're going to have no representation, no gender representation in the upcoming mayor's race. I don't like that. Again, I felt the same thing about Yvette. We way past the time for a black female to be the mayor of Cincinnati. We way past it. We need some more of that female leadership. I'm about it. You know, I love the idea of it. I want to see what happens. We need to shake things up a little bit. But those are my questions, though. I'm like, okay, so when can you turn the signatures in? You know, my thing is, if the threshold was 500, somebody like me running, I got to get, if they say get double the amount, in my head, I got to get 3 times the amount. You know what I'm saying? If they say get 500, then I got to get 2,500 signatures just to make sure I get 500. Because when it's closed, that's when the game starts. Crystal writes, hang in, Kelly. Graxon's in the house. He writes, Kelly Praiser is a loser in my Trump voice. Good morning, alt middle. That's how you want to come in the room, man. TNT writes, there's always city council. Wait, here it is. There's always city council, and she can win. Charles writes, or Charlie Winburn writes, absolutely, Nathan, she needs to be in a race. Yeah, I love the idea of it. You know, I think we're taking a step back, personally. That's just me. Anthony writes, we have Smitherman. See, y'all, always got the jokes, man. You always got the jokes. What's wrong with you? Stop with the jokes. Someone said that Joe Mallory is trying to call in. Joe, if you're listening, man, call me back. He can give us the insights, the facts as to how that system is supposed to be run, and then what the recourse is for Kelly Prather. My thing is that if she's got a shot, then go for it. If you got a shot by going through Joe or Gwen or talking with the Hamilton County Board of Election members, and it could lead to you being on the ballot and you feel as if something wrong happened, that you were wrong, that you worked so hard for these signatures and you didn't get them, I'm going for mine. So I can only say the same thing to Kelly Prather. Go for it. Make it happen. Now, I know Wendell Young didn't get enough signatures. There was at least 1 or 2 other. Wendell Young didn't get enough signatures. And he was like, well, damn, my bad, y'all. Damn, my bad. Don't want to let anybody down, right? And he just moved on with it. There was at least 1 other mayoral candidate that didn't get enough signatures. So, I mean, what do you think? Do you think that somebody at the Board of Elections is trying to stop Kelly Prather from getting on the mayoral ballot? Or do you believe that, you don't get enough signatures? It happens. And she's making something more of it than it really should be. What's your take on it? 513-873-7134. Let's go to the phones and say good morning. Welcome.
Hey, good morning, Nate. This is Brian.
Hey, what's up, Brian?
Hey, what's up, man? I'm calling in real fast. I ain't going to say a lot because, I'm curious what Joe was going to say, and I was trying to wait to see if he was going to call. But I want to raise 3 points.
He's calling in right now, actually. Do you want to?
Well, want me to get off and come back?
Yeah, let's try that. Thank you so much.
All right, cool. Yep.
Listen, hey, Joe, if you're still trying to call in, call me right back. I think that was Joe. Hold on a second. Oh, we don't want to do that. Oh, there we go. Oh, yeah, we swinging it. There it is. We love it. We are. Hey, good morning. Welcome to the show.
Hey, good morning, Nathan. This is Joe Mallory.
Hey, what's up, Joe?
Well, my ears is burning because people telling me that Kelly was dropping my name on your show, and so I listened in for a little bit, and I just want to, I always say, I'm for the truth no matter who tells it, but you got to tell the truth. Bottom line, and there's a lot of openings in there where you can kind of twist things, and I want to be truthful all the way. The NAACP is not getting into this fight, on Kelly's behalf. This is Joe Mallory. She came to me because I had experience at the Board of Elections. Okay, I've got all this experience. I'm due to be sworn in on March the 2nd, which is the meeting that will be dealing with this situation with Kelly's signature. So I was trying to, I looked at all her signatures that she had submitted, the 3 different stacks on the different dates, January 15th, February 2nd, February 18th. And she was debating on your show, talking about the Secretary of State said that she could submit copies. But I showed her clearly yesterday. I showed her that on the petition itself, it said that the signatures, they must be in ink. They must be written in ink or indelible pencil. I showed her that. I said, this says it on the petition. You cannot submit copies. And I asked her, I said, well, Kelly, why did you submit copies of some signatures you got just because they were wet? You didn't submit the originals. I said, why didn't you put them both together? Say, hey, here's my wet copy, okay, and here's my wet originals, but here's some copies that so it's easier for you until they dry. They do not accept photocopies of any signatures. They never have at the Board of Elections. The 20 years I was there, they never accepted photocopies. So I don't know where that came from. Maybe she misunderstood what happened before. There is a process where when you get a petition, you're running for office, the top portion is where you can sign in as a candidate. So Kelly Prather, I'm running for this office in the date of the election and all of that. So once you fill that part out, you keep the original, but you can make copies of that top portion and then have all the signature lines for your circulate petition to get it signed. Okay, that is the only thing you can copy is the top portion where you're signing that you're running as a candidate. That top portion, the signature lines, have to be original wet signatures. They have to be wet signatures. A lot of the things you said, I might have to be talking about it, but a lot of things I'm like, let's be factual. There is no corruption. Nobody's trying to keep Kelly off the ballot. They've been looking, I talked to them because I've been talking to say, hey, check the ones that you said are bad to make sure that there's not any misunderstanding. I went down there and I looked at them. I said, Kelly, which ones do you think are good? She showed me, she circled them. I looked them up on the registration check, the online where they said, are you a registered voter? I looked the person's name up, the address they had put on the signature line on the petition. The first 6 I checked were all bad. They weren't registered at the address. They were on the petition. That's one of the requirements. You have to be a registered voter at the address where you I'll sign the petition. You have to put your address where you live currently. And it has to be at the Board of Elections. It has to be on the Board of Elections. I mean, I appreciate Kelly's passion, and she's working hard, to get on the ballot, and I respect that. She has gone out 3 times. She has submitted about 1,000 signatures. There's no disputing that. But to try to disparage a whole entity because, you don't have the required amount, that's kind of messy. That's kind of messy. We can't, just because, you didn't make, there's a lot of people when I worked there that didn't make the ballot, and they were like maybe 5 signatures short, and let me tell you some of the reasons why a signature, and these are the rules that I didn't make up. These are the rules that, and we know how we change rules. You have to change policy by getting it on the ballot and letting people vote for it, whether we like it or not. That's the process we all have to live in. Some of the reasons why some of these signatures were not accepted were some were duplicates, some were out of the county, some were not in the city of Cincinnati. It says wrong district, wrong address, not registered, and not a genuine signature. Not a genuine signature means, when you are filling out your registration form, you sign your name, you can't print your name. It's strict. You have to sign your name like your signature. And if you printed your name, a lot of times they reject those signatures. They reject them. And I see Kelly commented, review every signature before I make a comment. I'm commenting on what I know, and I don't like her throwing my name around like this is some kind of, this is about, getting to the truth. We're going to look at every signature that she thinks was good. And there's not going to be some kind of conspiracy or any kind of collusion. No collusion at all. Let's get to the truth. Let's get to the truth no matter who tells it. Now, someone asked, why can't you submit the wet originals that she tried to submit? But once you file your petitions, the door's closed. You can't come in and add more signatures. Back in the older days, when I first started the Board of Elections, they used to do a pre-check. Pre-check is where you would check, the Board of Elections used to check your signatures, and if you were short, they would tell you how many you were short. And you could go out and get more. But one of the secretaries of state would not allow that to happen any further, because a candidate accused the board of giving them bad information. They accused them of giving them bad information, and there was a situation where the liability and accusation. So they said, well, it's up to the candidate to check their own signatures, if they want to make sure they have the correct amount. And if they didn't have the correct amount, then they would have to withdraw that filing and resubmit with more signatures. So that's what happened with Kelly. She had to resubmit a second time and a third time. But you got to meet that threshold of what the requirement says in the charter of 500 valid signatures. Now, and Kelly did tell me that the person whose signature that says wrong address, she said she went to the person's house and she went back and told them that they said that, hey, this address isn't good, but I saw them at their house. I'm like, yeah, but what is on the Board of Elections registration file? What is on the registration file? So if I'm registered at 100 Oak Street, and then I put that I live at 100 Elm Street, those are the same address. You only count the registered official registration addresses on file at the Board of Elections. I don't make up the rules, but everybody's required to follow the rules. I'll take any questions you have, Nathan. And I like Kelly, and I told her, I don't like this messiness and half truths. Like, let's get to the bottom of it and deal with the truth. Deal with the truth. And I told Kelly, call the Secretary of State's office. Tell him to put it in writing. I asked her what Secretary of State told her that. She couldn't remember. I said, tell him to put it in writing that we're allowed to accept photocopies as valid petition submission. The Board of Elections, since I was there 20 years, they don't accept photocopies. It has to be an original signature. So I'll take any questions you got, Nathan.
Yeah, I appreciate you calling in and setting the record straight, from your perspective, Joe. So the first question I have is, per your experience, is there any scenario in which, or any type of evidence at this point that Kelly could submit that would open the door for her to reach that threshold of 500 signatures?
Well, the signatures that she submitted on all three sets of petitions, I've been looking at them. I'm going to go to the Board of Elections, and I'm going to look in the registration system at strictly the ones that were rejected. I'll look at those signatures. This is something I'm doing above and beyond, because if she's eligible, she should be on the ballot. Absolutely. But don't twist my words and make it seem like I'm waving a magic wand. I want to get to the truth, period. So if you can find some in there that are correct and get her over the threshold, I think one set of petitions, she was 56 short. One set, she was 91 short. And one, she's 61 short. And I said, that's terrible. If they could have counted the 6 pages, there were 6 pages of petitions, there were copies. There's 148 signatures right there alone. If she would have submitted the originals, they would have been accepted. They would have been accepted, they would have been checked. But they don't deal with photocopies. Any candidate that has run for office, they don't accept photocopies. All she had to do was give them the wet original signatures, let it dry, they would have checked them. She was able to make copies of them.
Is it too late for that now, Joe?
So,
can she submit that now?
Oh, absolutely. Once you file, they accept your petitions, they give you a receipt that they received them, and once you make the official filing, that's it. The door is closed. You can't resubmit. You got to start all over again. Now, the issue now is February the 18th was the deadline. It was a deadline. And Kelly's run for a lot of offices. She's very experienced, and I love her passion, and then she says things, and I like to deal with the facts. I like to deal with truth. When she says something about redistricting and how in Madisonville and Columbia Township, they redraw the lines and all that, that is not what we're talking about here when we talk about redistricting. The city of Cincinnati boundary lines do not change. Now, a House district line might change, a congressional district line might change, but the city of Cincinnati jurisdictional boundaries, they do not change. So when it comes to if you live in Columbia Township, or if you live in outside of the city of Cincinnati, you sign a petition, it has nothing to do with redistricting. You're in somebody else's jurisdiction. You can't count that signature. It's valid for the city of Cincinnati if you want to run for Cincinnati City Council. So gerrymandering and redistricting, that's a different issue. And you can't muddy it up on this specific issue, because if somebody doesn't live in the city of Cincinnati proper, it's the structure. It's a structure. So, like I said, I love Kelly's passion, and I would love to see her on the ballot, but she's got to meet the requirement. She's got to meet the requirement.
Is there anything that the Secretary of State can do at this point?
No, the Secretary of State is going to, he's the chief election officer of the state. He's going to go with what the Board of Elections in that county has verified. He might look at some of the rules that Kelly said that he told her that one of the Secretary of State said that she could submit photocopies. Hey, tell her to put it in writing, have it in writing somewhere. I told her the best thing to do is look at the code. What does the code say? What does the law say? Does the law say somewhere that we didn't see that you can submit a copy?
Kelly's saying
I haven't found it anywhere.
I'm not sure if you inside the chat room, but Kelly, Kelly is saying that you are part of all of the political games.
Oh, I didn't see that, but I know she can't mean that, because I sat with her yesterday, spent my time spending with her. I'm trying to make sure we get to the truth.
Right.
Whatever she wants to tell, she can't turn something into the truth if it's not the truth. Now, she can disparage me. She can say whatever she wants to, but, if she feels like I'm part of the game, I can recuse myself from the vote, because it's getting really messy. I'm trying to help Kelly, to see what now, when I don't align with what she's thinking and what she's saying, then all of a sudden I'm part of the problem. And anybody that knows me, I have more integrity than that. I'm not going to help somebody win if it's not truthful. If one of my brothers was short on votes and they needed to be elected, let the chips fall where they may.
Okay, maybe I read that wrong. So now Kelly's saying I didn't say he was part of the political games. Okay, I must have misread that then. I put it up on the screen. Hold on here. Oh, no. I read that wrong. She was saying it's all part of the political game, not you're a part of the political game. I misread that. Thank you for that clarification, Kelly. I don't want to be messy with it.
I like Kelly, and I told her I love her passion. And I don't make up the rules. And we all can, talk about how the rules need to be changed, but we have to deal with what is written and what everybody else is going by. There are a lot of people running for council, so when you start changing the rules after everybody else, is either met it or didn't make it, then it opens up a Pandora's box.
All right. Well, Joe, thanks for calling in, man, and setting the record straight.
So I'm going to still, continue on, and I'm looking at all the ones that they claimed weren't valid. I'm going to look at them again. When I was there, everybody that I saw was like, they don't try to stop anybody. There's nobody trying to stop anybody. It's like whatever's written down there is what gets checked. And I showed Kelly some of the issues, and it's frustrating when you're checking petition signatures. Like some people will put their phone number where the address is supposed to be. You know, some people wouldn't put an address. So when you're circulating a petition, you know, that's part of a circulator's job, is to be vigilant and watch the signing of that signature and the information to make sure it's correct for the person who walks away. You know what I mean?
When's the earliest you can turn in signatures this year to run for mayor?
You could have turned them in, like, she could have turned them in January 1. I think she turned her first set in on January 15th. But the 18th was the deadline, but I think she could have turned them in even earlier, like in December. But, you know, with the weather, the COVID, I know it's tough out there. But she did turn them in early. It was in January, and January 15th. So, I mean, as much as we don't like what's going on, I mean, this is where we are, and I'm trying to look to make sure that there is no shenanigans. I'm trying to dispel the undermining of the confidence in a process that we all have to participate in, the election process. You know, if nobody has any trust, that creates voter apathy. And then people don't even want to participate in the process. And that's a disservice.
All right, Joe. Thanks for the call, man. Appreciate you.
All right. Thanks, brother.
Yeah, most deaf.
Take care.
And again, I misread that. That was all on me. My bad. Not to be messy at all. But I did flash on the screen just to set the record straight there. So that was my bad, Kelly, on that. I misread that. That's not what she was trying to say. She was trying to say it's part of the process, not Joe is the problem in the process. I want to make sure we get that straight. So there it is. So there it is. Now we have, you know, the other side or another side of looking at it. You know what I'm saying? We got Kelly Prather on the line. Let me bring her on, only because, and again, you know, I don't like to double dip, but I'm only doing this for number one because I just said something that gave the wrong impression. So if she wants to call in and set the record straight, absolutely go right ahead. And then two, we talking about her, so I think it's only fair for her to call in and respond. But look, hey Kelly, again, my bad on that. I misread that. I had no messy intentions.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah, that's okay, because I didn't want to give anyone the impression that I was saying Joe was part of the political game. But we all know that the political games are real. And as far as Madisonville, I put that because I went back to the same houses that I went to before that were in Cincinnati on Stewart and Chandler, and they are no longer in Cincinnati city limits. So I know Joe said that redistricting don't have anything to do with the city, but those are signatures I use for city council, friends and family members who live on Stewart. And so I know that impacts my ability to get those signatures. And, you know, the other thing I want to say about Joe is Joe came in as if I was saying he was going to wave some magic wand. No one said that he's going to wave a magic wand. I said Joe is reviewing the signatures and Gwen is reviewing the signatures. And as far as throwing his name out loosely, I don't believe I threw his name out loosely. I believe what I said is that it's good that we have diversity and we have representation on the board of directors. And I'm not going to take back that statement. It is good because, like I said before, when I contacted Sally Crystal and Sherry Poland, their response was, you have to speak to the board. And so it's good to know that I have a board that I can go to. So, you know, I think that a lot of people just, and I appreciate you for retracting your statement and saying that I'm saying that Joe is a part of the problem. I didn't say that. So I want people who just took that and ran with it and saying, okay, I'm, you know, making more enemies instead of political friends. I want them to just sit back and just, before they even respond to comments, make sure that they read the comments, correctly, because at this point it's just getting out of hand. And so, you know, there are a couple people, one person, I won't even say his name. I just told him to stop hating. He hates just to be hating, and it's just so unnecessary. At the end of the day, it's the principle of the thing. If I turned in signatures before, you know, I'm seasoned at this now. I know what I'm doing. And so I just want to make sure that everything is being handled appropriately, period. But Nathan, thank you for taking my call. As far as Joe said, I'm being messy. Yeah, as far as, you know, as far as I'm saying I'm being messy, you know, that's his opinion. Everyone has an opinion, but I have a right to expose like my narrative, my version of the story from what, you know, from what I'm seeing from my land. So that's what it is. But thank you so much for letting me call back.
Almost done.
And I'm just praying. I'm just praying that we have a good resolution, that this is resolved after the meeting on Tuesday. So I'm just asking people to show up on Tuesday, because I am going to challenge the board on all three submissions.
All right. Thank you for the call.
All right. Have a good day.
Yeah, that's Kelly. So we heard from Kelly, then Joe, then Kelly. And again, I don't let people double dip because I don't want to shake the show or be a back and forth. But in this case, since I was mistakenly messy, then I wanted to make sure that I cleaned that up quickly. So thank you for telling me. Look at Jerica. Look at you. Damn, sis. Little sis always got something to say. See, that's messy. I bet it's exactly how you saying it too. See, that's messy. It was mistakenly messy. Damn it. I don't deal with the messiness. And when I realized my error, I quickly, made sure that I got the record straight. I think that's very, very important. I ain't trying to do that at all. I have no interest in it. My interests are the opposite, actually. All right, so let me go to the phones here. Hey, B, call me back another day, bro. I don't want to double dip. Good morning. Welcome to the show. Hello.
All right, I got you. Hey, what's up, man?
Hey, what's up?
Hey, am I on the show right now?
Yeah, you're on the show right now. Who am I speaking with?
This is Brendan Kane. So I'm pretty familiar with I was actually running for mayor myself. I only got 450 signatures, and then got COVID, so never ended up turning in the signatures. But I'm pretty familiar with it, and based on observation, it seems like it's really flawed. It seems like there's a they're purposefully trying to keep people off the ballot. That being, Adam, Kohler, and Kelly. Just because, the city, it's run by, you have these corporations and people with money. And if they're able to get certain people to end up being in that mayor position, then that money and that power stays where it is. So my frustration with this all is seeing the whole, how 2020 played out, and, there's big progress moving towards, equality, and, just kind of being in between the lines, this whole thing, it's just kind of like a slap in the face, just to really see it play out. Because at the end of the day, it's people like Adam, people like Kelly that are one of the people that would get in there and actually enact change, not people that are just puppets that are going to do the same thing. So I look at it, and this is looking for the sake of the people, for the sake of the future, that, something just isn't adding up here. And, that's kind of my thought.
Okay. So you're saying you were running for mayor and didn't get the threshold. Do you believe that there was some kind of, that you were done wrong? Do you think there was some kind of plot to keep you off the ballot?
No, not at all. No, not at all. So that was completely on me. I was only at 450, and then I came down with COVID 2 weeks leading up to it, where it was just unfortunate. I do think that, in the 4 years or so, we're in a pandemic. What are we doing running around doing signatures? It should have been digital signage for everybody's health and well-being. So even the candidates that went in there and they're turning in 1,500 signatures. Think about how much work that is. They're trucking out in the snow, just to be at the end of the day, these are invalidated. It's ridiculous. And at the end of the day, the people, everybody has a chance. They're going to vote. So they deserve, and I for sure feel like they got well more than the amount of signatures. Let the people vote. When it comes, what is it, 60 days out? Let the people vote who they want to become mayor. Don't just force the hand.
All right, Brendan, thanks for the call. You still there?
Yep.
Okay. Hey, Thanks for the call, man.
Yeah, for sure, bro.
Yeah, most of that's Brendan Kane. Huh, interesting. Very interesting developments this morning. Did not see all of this coming, but I'm here for it. I'm here for all of it. Don't forget, coming up today at 12:30 p.m., the Is It Just Me podcast with Donnie B. She is back. She wasn't with you last week. Very busy at work, but she's back. She'll be talking about numerous topics that have happened this week. Maybe she might even kick back a little bit into what happened last week. She'll catch up on what she's been watching, and then get into the show, get into the flows, as I put it. Again, 513-873-7134. So we'll take a call, then we'll hear another word from our sponsor. But I just want to make sure that people take advantage of these opportunities while they are here. Okay, check the link today. There's a link in today's description to renewcommunitychurch.org. They have a brand new ebook that they want to make available to you. It is free. Have there ever been four letters, better letters put together? FREE, free. But you know what? It's free, but I think it comes with a potential big impact. This is part of their Focus 2021 series. So in addition to the free ebook, you can also get 30 minutes of free coaching from Charlie Winburn himself. So check that out. The link is in the description today. And we're going to catch up with Mr. Winburn real soon and we'll talk about the book itself. You know, we'll put some of the slides from the book up on the screen and kind of go through it and make it really interactive and hopefully fun, educational. And at the end of the day, we want you to get something out of it. But listen, don't miss out on this opportunity. It's a part of the Focus 2021 series from Renew Community Church. Download the free ebook. And if you're thinking like, man, 30 minutes from a man that's got a lot of life experience, could be a help and a resource to you. Take advantage of it while it is available, family. And my friends over at Pinnacle Protection Agency, they are looking for professional installers. They're seeking professional camera, DVR, and alarm installers. Now, this could be an employment opportunity for someone that could be you, could be a family member, and it could be a whole new field that you can get into. Check this out. We'll come right back.
Looking for great pay with a great family-owned company? Pinnacle Protection Agency is seeking professional installers. Pinnacle Protection Agency is innovative security for your world, offering services for commercial and residential clientele, which include smart home and business technology, intrusion, fire, surveillance and doorbell cameras, and a whole lot more. We want to hire experienced installers and are willing to train. Please send your resume to info@pinnacleprotectionagency.com. That's info@pinnacleprotectionagency.com. Call 513-506-5010.
513-506-5010. Also, I want to give a special shout out to someone in the chop shop this morning. Someone who is, let me go here. I asked for someone to do a Photoshop of Melanie Bates on the body of Xena Warrior Princess, and ask and ye shall receive. What we got here? Oh, okay. I like this one. Ooh, got the Black Panther right there. Oh man, show the people since we're gonna interrupt the show. Oh, you got some nice ones. Okay. I like that. That's Falcon. I like that. Who is this? Black Widow. Oh man, somebody hooked you up. Here's Daddy's favorite. I think I like these two. These are my two favorite. Hawkeye. Yeah, I like these two. Iron Man. And Iron Man. Okay. Yeah, they all right. These are my two favorite. These are my two favorite right here. You love Yes, I do. You watch Yes, I do. Well, no, I wish it was every day. All right, man. Thank you for sharing. Oh, you thought it was my show? Psh, my show don't matter. You don't give a damn. You just bring toys in here. I mean, I'm supposed to tell them no? I mean, it is what it is. The show goes on. You know what I'm saying? No, he's good. He's good. That's what the show's all about. You spreading some of that black love. All right, who posted it, man? I'm looking for it right now. Here it is. This was Brent. Brent is hilarious. Brent is hilarious. Brent is hilarious. And we got John on the line too. Hold on. Brent is hilarious. Look at you, Brent. This asking ye shall receive. You want to see this? There it is. That's the yesterday I was talking about this. Look at him. That's a good one. That's the way that Jason Williams, he writes for the Inquirer. That's the way he sees Melanie Bates. She is a warrior princess fighting against the evil CFT, the evil teachers union. You're gonna go back to classroom. Stop your whining. Stop your bitching. You're making $70,000 to $80,000 a year. Just get back out there on the front lines, right? Melanie Warrior Princess. Oh man, what is that weapon called there? A little circle joint right there. What is that? I want to get one of those. Fuck around and cut my fingers off or something like that. Xena was a tight show. I'll give her props. That was a good show for what it was. That's the way that you're wondering what is that? That is the way that Jason Williams, he's a columnist for the Inquirer. That's the way that that's what Jason Williams sees when he looks at Melody Bates. You have to look. It's not going to be an inside joke, but if you didn't see the show on Wednesday, you might miss it. I spent some time breaking down an article that Jason Williams wrote in which he was trying to make Melanie Bates into be some kind of hero because of what she said, and it was no problem whatsoever. I'm like, whoa, damn, somebody got a new spin machine. He was spinning the hell out of it. Props to Brent, man. Props to Brent. Brent, we're going to give you 5 attaboys for that, ABs for that. If I can get AB up here quick enough. Where's the ABs at? Let me see. Here we go. You deserve it, buddy. Wherever you are. Is that 4? That's 5. That's a 5 AB right there. That's hilarious. Thank you for that. That made my morning. That made my morning. You know what? I should have made that the cover art for today's show. That would have been dope. That would have been, you know what? I missed the opportunity. Damn it. Gotta be quicker than that. Gotta be quicker than that. Jerica writes, it's getting out of hand because she's setting the stage for it. Graston writes, she's salty. I don't think Kelly was salty. She set the record straight. I don't think she was salty, but I appreciate Joe calling because his name was brought up. He did give us a different way to look at it, a clearer picture. And, you know, what he said was that, you know, he looked at it and so far it looks like some of the signatures were supposed to be invalidated. Like, do I put it past anybody to be trying to leave somebody off or to try to play favoritism with something like this? No, I do not. But you really want to put your good job. You got a good job working the Board of Elections. I've been over there. Everybody in there seems like they got a good job. They seem perfectly happy. It's very calm and serene in there. They don't play no games. You know what I'm saying? You're going to put your job on the line to keep Kelly Prather or anybody off of the ballot when you don't know if they have if they're going to be a front runner or not. Oh, I just don't see myself doing something like that. No matter what my politics are, I'm going to do the job. Democrat, Republican, Independent. You get enough signatures, you get enough signatures. If you don't, you don't. I'm going to put my livelihood on the line for something like that. I just can't see myself doing it, but let's go back to the phones. Good morning, John. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Mr. Nathan Ivey and the good people of Cincinnati, as well as the good people around the world. And good morning to those choppers. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Good morning to you, sir.
2 quick things before we get into the issue of the Black Panther movie. I don't know if you've seen it yet, but, you know, I listened clearly as much as I could to the interview you did with those 2 guests. Some technical problems, I guess. I don't know. We hear your question clearly, which was very good, but we couldn't hear the response of the people. At least on my end, I couldn't hear not a word of what their response to your answers. So maybe that's something you can get your technical people to look at, why we can hear you clearly as a bell, but could not hear the response to the other people, which kind of hurts
the heads up on that.
Because it was the questions you asked were right on point. I didn't have an issue with that. It's just I would love to hear the response to the people, and I couldn't hear anything. Enough of that. For anybody that's still enjoying Black History Month, I think Sunday is the last day. But anybody that wished to know tidbits of history, focusing on my documentary, Sweet Georgia Brown, if you go to a link, Foundation for Women's Warriors, they're out of Baltimore. They're showcasing our version of the documentary, and probably we'll talk about the book. But it starts at 5:30 Eastern Standard Time on the East Coast. You have to click into that website, Foundation for Women's Warrior. You have to register so they can send you a link to the 5:30 program this evening, Eastern Standard Time. And you will see the hour version of the documentary focuses on African American women that served during World War II. Nathan Ivey has a copy of the book, and I think I gave you a copy of the documentary too, but this will be the hour version. I made changes based on the documentary you got, Nathan Ivey. That was an older version back in 97, 98. I've updated that documentary, so a lot of changes have been made, fresher interviews, and it focuses on African American women that served during World War II, a lost history. Not too many people knew about it. I'm hoping one day it becomes a TV series or a film one day. I'm talking to some people in Hollywood as well as some people, a filmmaker in Atlanta, Georgia. So we'll see how that plays out. Also, if you miss tonight's evening program tonight at 5:30, WAOK, that's an Atlanta radio station. A woman hosts that show. She'll be interviewing me at 11 a.m. WAOK, clickit.com, and you'll pick their website in the corner. If you're free, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, she'll be interviewing me for a whole hour, focusing on my work, my film, my books, and you'll get a little tidbit more information about what I do besides calling in, rambling on the Nathan Ivey Show. And finally, my question to you, I don't know if you had a chance to see that Black Panther movie yet. Have you had a chance to see it?
I have not, no.
I've seen some of the outtakes and some of the trailers, which seems like a very interesting movie, and based on Regina King. I recommend, if you get a chance to interview her, she's a fascinating woman, very intelligent, and now she's I guess she's directing a number of projects. This is her project, that Black Panther. She's directing that, and I think if you get a chance to interview her, I saw her on the Late Show last night, and very fascinating woman, but her bio is longer than me and your arm, but she's doing some pretty good projects. If you get a chance to interview her, you might want to bring her on because that's her focus.
Is that right?
She takes the movie in a different direction, whereas the focus on the Black Panther and what the FBI, J. Edgar Hoover, that cretin, another story at him, another day, another time. But Hoover was just a Nazi. He was the first FBI director. He was there for almost 40, 50 years, too long. And when Hoover died, the government made a decision, no FBI director will stay in a position that long again. Hoover was a devil in disguise. He hated anybody that was anti-American. He hated anybody, and mostly his biggest file he had was on Dr. Martin Luther King. And yeah, he followed Malcolm X and everything else, but she focuses on that direction. So, but I think her movie was more focusing on Jim Brown, Malcolm X, and who else? I forgot the other two actors to play on them having secretly meeting and talking about issues that they should get involved with, which is the Black cause. Fascinating movie. She takes a different spin to it, which is very good. So I just wanted to bring up that tidbit. So you gave me your answer, but if you get a chance, I think you should look at that movie, and I'm waiting to see it too myself. Other than that, any questions to me, sir? If not,
John, I got no questions, man. You kind of rambling there, but it's good to hear from you. And I am having some fun with you, man. Are you watching the video stream right now?
No, I'm not watching it.
Okay.
I was listening to the website.
Listen to the audio. Okay, great. I'm having some. I got a picture of Mr. Burns up above your name right now, because you know you're the Black Mr. Burns. So I just want to tell you that, man, so people don't think I'm trying to do something behind your back. Just having some fun with you, brother. But thank you.
It doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me. I understand.
Yeah. And I'll catch up with you. I'll be looking for that, man. I'll be looking for that for sure.
No problem.
Most definitely. That's John from Florida, aka the Black Mr. Burns. You got to meet John. Once you meet him, you be like, oh, he is the Black Mr. Burns. If I put a photograph of John and Mr. Burns side by side, you'll be like, oh, Nate's not making it up. He's telling the truth. Oh man. Joy Joy writes, hello. Hell no. No questions for John. How do you listen to the website? She said, hell no. Don't ask that man. No. Nathan, don't ask him no questions. He's listening probably on the audio. So on my website, nathaniv.com, you can listen to the show there as well. You can listen to the audio there. There's a link to the Spreaker account. Mr. Burns votes. If I can get it out. Y'all are too much, man. Y'all are too much. Y'all are too much. 513-873-7134. Hey, listen, it's not too late. The show's still going on. As soon as I get off the show today, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to put the deadline after. It'll be after the show. We'll say the deadline's about 2 p.m. Because at that point, I would have finished not the Midday Juice, but the Is It Just Me podcast, okay? That'll be live today at 12:30. And then I'm going to go in and we're going to find our winner. I'm going to take all the people who correctly did everything that we asked for. Just listen to Mystery History. Go to the Nathan Ivy Show Facebook page. You'll see this very image. Click on it. Listen to the Mystery History clue. Tell me who the Mystery History person is, and then like it and share it. Those that do all three will immediately be registered. And then we'll begin and do it randomly today and let you know who's going to win. Of course, this game is presented by imgbat.com, handcrafted jewelry and arts. It's an online store. There's a link in the description of today's show on Facebook and YouTube, so you can check it out right there, okay? imgbat.com. It's Black owned, by the way, and they're giving a $50 gift certificate to the winner and then 15% off toward the purchase winners as well. So if you're interested, do it before the show ends. I'm going to check it at about 2 p.m. approximately, okay? That'll give you enough time after the show. I know the show still has legs. People still look at it. I can see the numbers even after we go live. So check it out. And at that point, I'm going to shut it down and start to go through the process to get us a winner or winners, and then I'll be in contact. Look for more. 513-873-7134 if you'd like to share your thoughts. I just wanted to have some fun with John. That's all. That's it. Jerica says, enjoy your weekend. Crystal writes, lots of black on black crime in the chop shop today. It's love, y'all, even in disagreement. Right. There was some black on black crime in the show today. Man, whoo. Damn. Yes. Who knew? It got a little. It didn't get too heated, though. We got some clarifications from Joe Mallory. That's it. Just got some clarifications. Janine writes, I thought he was black. He is. That's why I say he's the black Mr. Burns. John is an African American. He is from the tribe or one of the many tribes. It's all good. All right, don't forget, everybody, coming up today at 12:30 Is It Just Me podcast. Make sure you check it out if you are available. Really appreciate everybody for checking out the show this week. It means everything. Really appreciate it. And again, make sure you get it. You check out our sponsors. All right, supporting the Nathan Ivy Show. A great way to support our show is support our sponsors. And before I roll out of here and end the week, I definitely want to shout out my patrons this morning. Starting with Rhonda. Thank you so much, Rhonda. I appreciate you. Pamela, thank you. Frankie, Tanika, Kush, Chuck, Charles, Michelle, James, Monique, Bobby, Brandon, Gerald, Kelly Presley, I appreciate you. Brother Flo Maney, Omar, appreciate you. Valicia, Mason, thank you so much. Jared, Marcia, Brian, Sean, what up with you? Jesse, thank you so much. Robin, Ashley, Daryl, appreciate your support. K Works, D Wizzle, Tracy, Elizabeth, Cassandra, Bozilia, Patricia, Lee, thank you so much. Cinnamon, thank you so much. Zola, appreciate you. Ray, appreciate you. Hey, Dee Dee, thank you so much for your support. Rachel, appreciate you. Tony, thank you so much. Glenn, brother Glenn, appreciate you. Hey, Letty, thank you so much. Hey, Jerome, thank you. Appreciate you. Asia and James, thank you so much. Please check that feed. And if you have the ideas for perks that you think might be pretty interesting, that people might get into, or you might be interested, hit me up on that feed. I check it every single day. Appreciate you. Thank you so much for your support. And look for a new podcast collective newsletter coming to you today. It'll give you some insights on what to expect next. That time is now. Let's do it. Let's do it. Good morning to you. Appreciate you in advance. Crystal writes comments too, Nate. Oh, yeah. Appreciate the people who are leaving comments. Oh, man, come on. Everybody. And my audio choppers as well. Absolutely. Appreciate the comments. Yes, Crystal, good morning to you. Kelly writes to Dee. She writes, because they scan and email copies of part petitions at the candidate's request. I keep copies and originals to go back when it's time to collect addresses. Yeah, I mean, for me, that's just like I said, I stand by what I said. I hope it gets resolved, and I hope that she is able to get on the ballot and fight her fight. You know what I'm saying? Put together the race that she wants to. Crystal writes, balloon release for Nilo and Natisha on the PPB Purple People Bridge at 1 p.m. tomorrow. Is that right? I did see that actually. Oh my God. Man, that is so emotional. That's going to be a very emotional situation right there. Oh man. Mm-mm. I hope that this is a part of me. Am I wrong? I hope that Joe Dieters is wrong. I hope that Joe Dieters is wrong. I do. I straight up hope that Joe Dieters is wrong about it. Is that just am I just being hopeful beyond all practical purposes? It could be, man, but what a terrible situation right there with that young boy and his mother. That's not why God brought you here, in my opinion, but shit we do to one another, man. Again, human beings worse than COVID, much worse than COVID. Listen, folks, have an excellent rest of your day. I really appreciate you. I've got to make a move. All right. I want to make sure I'm right and ready to go. All right. Have an excellent rest of your day, family. I say it again. I really appreciate you. It means everything. Thank you for your support. Consider becoming a patron. There's a link. My link tree is in today's description. You can find us on C Digital, which you probably already know because you're here. You can find me on Twitter. You can find my website. If you want to support, make a donation, you can find it there. Become a patron, which is more of a monthly commitment, or maybe you want to make a one-time donation via PayPal. The Nathan Ivy Show. Okay, so I appreciate you support independent media, Black independent media at that. So again, folks, have an excellent rest of your day, and I'll be with you again real soon. You never know. I might even go late night Nate over the next couple of days here. It's a couple of things I haven't had a chance to get to. Okay. So again, have an excellent rest of your day. Stay focused out there. Stay winning out there. I wish you the best, and we'll talk real soon. Until next time, I'm Nathan.